What is the most important to us currently? Grew 3-1 from weird GWSN
Wait,
Bible
did it seriously say Grew
quotes.
3? Is it like
No, I made up all that. It just had the quote. But every time we do GWSN review, I have to say their weird quote that they put at the front of their music videos because they don't make any sense.
Okay.
What's up, everyone? I'm Nate from Chili Daebak with another episode of the DaebakCast. This is episode 131. And if you don't know what the DaebakCast is, it is a podcast where we discuss K-pop, Korean culture, and entertainment. Occasionally go away from K-pop and do like variety shows or movies or whatever, but mostly K-pop, and what is current in the industry. Usually we're joined by Jacob. He is not here because he sucks. Type 69 in the comments if you think he sucks.
Wait, is his dad's wedding yet, or no? I forget. Something.
No,
I know something's coming up soon.
No, I think he's just at his dad's this weekend, okay. So that's why. Yeah. But instead, we brought Sam back.
Hi.
Our lovely Discord mods. Baron did not decide to join us this time because he's busy with work.
Lawyer stuff.
But Sam's here. And then, as always, I'm joined by Andrew, who usually has 3 things.
So yesterday I watched this movie called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I'm kind of late on the whole Tarantino thing. The only other movie I watched by Tarantino was Inglourious Bastards, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Django. You've never seen Kill Bill. How have you never seen Kill Bill? That's like
right I know. I probably should watch Kill Bill. Yeah,
it's just like parodying Asian action films.
Like she dresses up like Bruce Lee and everything. I should watch Kill Bill, but no, because when Kill Bill was like it was like out, like my parents didn't let me watch rated R movies, so I just never watch it. But yeah, it was great. Definitely, like if you pay attention to like that whole like late '60s era of like Americana, that type deal. Definitely understand a lot of the references. Number 2, I would be playing a game called Fire Emblem Three Houses if UPS didn't decide to deliver. Yeah, I should have just done instant pickup. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the truly Daebak productivity numbers are just gonna go in the tank for the next week or like a couple weeks.
Just in time for releases.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to do releases when I'm just like, I need to hit the next chapter. So I'll try playing it on Monday whenever I buy it. And number 3, probably the most important detail. So where was I? Oh yeah, so we had our topic last week on Yuhak Sonyo, so UHSN and Lana and all that sort of stuff. So that topic with Umu went out, and some members of the group actually, or the reality show actually found the video. In particular, Lisu, one of the members, just started freaking out about it on Twitter. So I said hi, and then Umu like retweeted her or like tweeted at her, and she's just like panicking the whole time. So if you're listening, hello. We love your music, except for Nate.
Hey, I feel I didn't hate it. I didn't like the pop part, and the rest of it was fine.
Oh, she did just like a random cover, or like she did the song.
I think
like
I read one of them say that they only had 3 days to learn the choreography. So if so, that's a lot more impressive.
Yeah, no, they only had.
I didn't realize they like it was such a short time too.
Yeah, like the music like learning process was only like 2 weeks as far as I know. Like them actually like recording, learning the song, like all that sort of stuff. Like most of it was just them going around Korea. Again, I probably should watch the show if I'm going to interview any of them, but yeah, that offer is always on the table, so if they're listening. Unless you just want to interview with Umu because she has more clout.
Well, yeah, definitely. They definitely want to talk to Umu.
Yeah. Those are my 3 things, as always. I think I'll still keep putting the KyoAni donations sort of thing in. It's crazy because they actually opened up their own like donations account, like specifically with like a Japanese bank. It hit $5 million like US dollars in like the first like 3 days. So yeah, they're doing a really good job with donations and everything. All parts of the animation industry are pitching in. So yeah, as always, if you want
even
to donate,
like games and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw the Bloodstained Facebook like tweeted a link to it and stuff too. So
yeah, just so really great response from just different like anime and gaming communities. So yeah, as always, if you want to contribute, we'll leave the links to support Kyoto Ani in their recovery efforts in the description below. So those are my 3 things.
Okay, so first I'll get through our usual garbage that I gotta say. So subscribe, like the video, click the bell so you get notified and our videos actually show up on your timeline or whatever, because that apparently doesn't happen anymore. Follow us on Twitter, and most importantly, join our Discord where you can come hang out with Sam and other cool people and do fun things like song ratings and argue about how good ITZY is, because that's the fun topic for today.
Yeah, and Sam will yell at you if you don't like Oh My Girl.
Yes.
Or Q's neck.
Yeah.
Or Q's neck.
Or him in general.
No, just his neck. You don't care about the rest of him, just the neck. So yeah, it's just a fun place to come talk to us. We're always hanging out there and use a bunch of cool people to talk to about K-pop and unrelated topics like gaming and stuff. So check that out. Let's get started with topic 1, which is CIX, which I will forever refer to as CIX. Review,
Doesn't even make
because
sense.
anytime a group does just the letters as the name, I'll always say the word out, like UNB. They will always be UNB.
Wouldn't it be like 6 though?
6.
Yeah, I thought it was 6.
Yeah, but
If
there's
it was
only
like
5 of them.
CIX.
There's
It'd
only
be like
5 of them
kicks.
though.
Yeah.
Well, it's not it's CIX, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if
But
you look
they're
at the
kicks.
Hangul.
It's kicks, just like the cereal. So yeah, we are reviewing their debut mini album, which is Hello Chapter 1, Hello Stranger.
I should probably read this since I'm like the
I
only
was
one
gonna
that
say, I was gonna let you read it. I was just kind of introducing. You're not the only one who likes it.
Okay, I thought I
we'll
was
get
the only
there.
one that liked it here. Okay, anyway.
Cooper gave it like a
besides
high
Cooper.
score.
Yeah,
Besides
spoiler.
Spoilers.
Besides
No
Cooper.
spoilers, but
But yeah, I'm the only one currently present that seems to like it the most. So yeah, I'll read it, obviously, and also being probably the biggest one-on-one follower here as well. Anyway,
Only.
only one-on-one.
Only one. Hey, I want this group to do well because they're under C9. So if they make a bunch of money, that means we get more Yuna comebacks.
Yeah, Yuna's gonna make a hell of money. CNI's just been killing it this year anyway. So yep. This is CIX, as Nate introduced. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with the group, CIX is a 5-member boy group under C9 Entertainment. C9, very small company. They only sort of got prominence in terms of like mainstream K-pop fans because of, Produce 101. They sent people to Produce 101, Produce 48. I think they sent people this season, maybe or not. I don't remember exactly, but So the main appeal of this group is that it's the group that's home to Bae Young, formerly of 101. Also, there are 2 members that were formerly under YG. You had Lee Byung-gun, who goes by the stage name BX. He was in the final boy group of Mix 9, but we all know what happened.
We moved on to 2-letter stage names now because I've been waiting because there's so many male idols with just 1-letter names. And I was waiting for them to go through the whole alphabet.
There's some with 2. Like I am.
I know.
And
Yeah,
BI,
there are.
but
that's
we don't
true.
talk about BI.
That's true. We can eventually we got through the whole alphabet and we're moving on to 2-letter names.
Yeah, BX at least kind of makes sense.
BX.
Does
Yeah.
it?
It's his last name. He's B
Okay.
to X. He's extreme. It's the extreme version of Lee Byung-gun.
Extreme.
Yeah. So, or maybe he's saying that he's an ex YG trainee. I don't know. So he was supposed to be in the
He should have
final
been
boy
on
group.
Produce X.
Yeah, he should. Well,
101.
I mean, he's in a group now. He doesn't have to go through that.
Yeah,
nightmare. So yeah, he was supposed to be in Mix 9.
That voting
Obviously,
scandal.
yeah. Obviously, nothing happened with the group. Unfortunately, also showed up on YG Treasure Box with another member of this group named Kim Sung Hyun. So I don't believe they made the final, obviously, but
that's another group that's not
that group.
That group got canceled too.
Damn.
Because apparently that was a like a YG like pet project, but since he's out of the company, like there's no one in charge of it essentially. So I feel bad for the boys that they have to go through all of that and nothing happened. Other two members are named Kim Young Hee, Yoon Hyun Suk. Obviously, again, the main appeal is definitely going to be Bae-jin Young of 101. That's definitely where most of the fan base is going to originate from. So, starting us off, we have the opening track on this mini album is called What You Wanted, and I guess this is what I wanted from this group. I don't know, like I just kind of went in with like no expectations at all, just because I don't know. If you listen back all the way to like 2017 when we were covering like Produce 101, I didn't have high expectations of Bae-jin Young, or I didn't know what kind of group he would be in. But I guess they're going with like sexy trap R&B is their type of shtick, I guess. So when I first heard like the intro, like the riff intro, I had some like real serious deja vu, because it kind of reminded me of. This is going to be, again, this is out of left field, but the riff kind of reminded me of It's Gonna Be Me by NSYNC.
Okay, I said the same thing.
Yes!
I'm glad I'm not crazy. My first line is, this reminds me of like an NSYNC song or something, but I couldn't figure it out. Like,
I'm usually the crazy one. I'm usually the only one that can make those connections, but I went and listened to like it, and I was just like, this is the same.
I was listening to like the No Strings Attached album. I'm like, I know it's on this album. Like this melody, I know it.
Every little thing. Oh, that's a great song too. That's probably one of my favorite NSYNC songs. Also, it's a staple in the month of May nowadays. So, anyway, just definitely if you're drawing comparisons to NSYNC, that's definitely a plus. This song's definitely a good sort of intro into, I guess, their style. Definitely a sexy R&B trap vibe, as I mentioned before. I definitely seems to play into Bae-jin Young's strengths a lot. He has a deep central voice, so that's probably definitely aimed towards him. I like the drop, pretty interesting sort of group vocal type of thing. Also, kind of definitely gives you a bit of EXO vibes, because I'll get into this later, but they do share some similar producers. So yeah, overall, I thought this was a solid opening intro track for the entire album. So Nate, I guess we'll follow up with you.
Okay. I actually really like the start of this song, like the start of the song, and the fact that it started the album. I thought there was just some like really cool, like the mix of like just like the mysterious synths and then the really sparse but like really hard hitting drum. I thought was cool, and I thought the vocals were really good. I didn't really have like any expectations going in, because I don't really know anything. Like I didn't really follow 101. I don't really know what Bae-jin Young's like role was or anything, or where this group was going. But yeah, I was just surprised with how much I liked this first song. I thought the drop hit really hard and well, and like the whispered talking parts mixed in with the singing was like a really nice touch. Really my only negative is I thought the first rap part was good, but then like the radio static rap section right after it, I thought it was like a little too much. Like they went a little too hard on like the staticky sound effect, and it just didn't sound good. But I thought like good.
It's good, like sparingly. I mean, Stray Kids uses it sometimes, but yeah, I can understand it can get a bit tiring.
Yeah, well, and I'm fine with the effect, but I think they like it was too loud, like it was too much.
Okay.
Like of the effect itself. Yeah, it was overpowering the actual like rap. Where it just didn't sound good. But I love like the vocal melodies matching up with the instrumentals and everything. Overall, I thought this was a really good first impression. I think this is probably my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I could see that. Favorite album track, at least on my end. So, Sam, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this was also my favorite on the album. I thought this was a solid song. I mean, part of it is like, yeah, the NSYNC vibe of it definitely I think helped it.
The
song
connection
itself is like not in sync. Like the actual instrumentation of it is very much modern. K-pop. Like one thing I noticed is they have like I call it like the Inception sound. It's kind of like that womp, but it's in the background. I've noticed it's been in a lot of songs this year. I mean, I'm probably explaining it really poorly. ATEEZ does it a lot.
Yeah, it's some type of like muted horn.
It's
type
some
of feel.
kind of like, yeah, and I noticed they use that. It's just been everywhere this year, but I'm a fan of it. So I'm cool with it. And yeah, the one part that was kind of weird was that like bridge rap thing where Yeah, it's like a staticky thing, and he's like, kind of sounds like he's going insane or something. I don't know. It felt weird.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, like I was trying to like get in it. And I was just like,
Yep.
it's not clicking here.
Yep.
I don't know, but yeah, they sounded good on this. I thought this was a good song.
Moving on, we're moving to the lead single off of this mini album entitled "Movie Star." So, this is produced by Anthony Russo, not the director of Avengers. No, not different Anthony Russo. Kaylin Bear, aka Silas Fuego, Scott Quinn, MZ, MC, J Kim, arranged by Stylus Fuego. So I mentioned all of those names because, as I mentioned with the previous song, they share a similar discography or similar production credits with EXO. They worked on Love Shot, definitely makes sense. Worked on Coco Pop, definitely makes sense in terms of like the vibe you get from this song, and I guess just the vibe you get from this group, kind of similar in terms of what they're going for. So yeah, definitely they have a good production team behind them in terms of this debut. So yeah, I'd say they do this sort of super sensual, sexy type of vibe very well. Kind of reminds me of what I enjoyed a lot of from Just Two, the GOT7 unit that came out earlier this year. So I just in general, again, as someone that's kind of tertiarily followed 101's career, I'm just impressed with how much Baekjin Young has improved as an idol. Because like going in, remember he's like an F rank trainee that shot all the way up to like 8th spot in the finale or something like that. So I had pretty low expectations for him going in, just in general. But yeah, he definitely improved a lot. Has a lot, probably the most stage presence of the entire group. They definitely utilize that in there's specific camera shots and everything. But yeah, I'm definitely sold on their concept as a group. Definitely they perform it well. There's like a lot of little details that I like too, just some in terms of like the instrumentation. There's like, it's trap, they have like a bit of like future bass, there's some new jack swing in the drums and everything. The rapping again was surprisingly good. Again, I never watched Mix 9 or YG Treasure Box, but the one of the main rappers, BX, is really good. You can kind of tell that he's a YG rapper, just the way that he delivers. So yeah. Music video has a really like cool aesthetic. There's like numbers and like really good cinematography and glitchy effects. So outfits, definitely like nothing too crazy in terms of like a boy group, but I enjoyed them. Same the choreography. I think the choreography did a good job of sort of selling, again, like the vibe that they're trying to set off with this. It's nothing too crazy, like 17-esque or whatever, but it does a good job. I think there's a really cool part of the song where she's a movie star, or like there's like the camera flash. Like for the camera flash, like the move that they do is like they slick back their hair or whatever. So yeah, just like I love little like nods to or like attention to detail like that. So just overall, I was surprised with how much I ended up liking the song. Again, having no expectations with CIX going in. So yeah, they might be one of the better 101 branch groups, in all honesty, just with what they've shown here.
Having not listened to Daniel's song, but seeing his teasers, it's definitely better than those teasers. His teasers were hideous.
Oh no.
That's what we were talking about, the like first place curse of Produce 101 groups.
You just make
they do a
music.
solo. Yeah, their solo career that's just horrible.
So Wonyoung's just gonna make really bad solo music once she's done with one.
No, there's no way Wonyoung doesn't get into group.
Bad. It's the leading
it's just
up to
the leading up to it. Yeah, because
Yep.
I like Birthday, but like the whole
and Daniel's
all the
song's not
teasers
bad.
and everything. Okay, I didn't listen to the song yet, but yeah, as for Movie Star, this song, it was kind of weird because I went in having no expectations, but the expectations set up by the first song made this song a little bit more disappointing than I think it normally would have been. It just felt like it was a pretty typical like build to a deep house chorus, and the song just is like a little less experimental than the first song, which makes sense for a single and a debut, especially. Yeah. But it just, after that first song, it felt a little boring. I think the song's good, but it definitely wasn't like, it didn't. I think that first song would have been a way cooler like single, even if it would have been less mainstream and maybe less popular. So I understand why they didn't go with it. I felt like the vocals in the song didn't really get nearly as much of a chance to shine. There's like a couple ad libs and like harmonies during the chorus, but other than that, they didn't get. It just what the vocal line wasn't as interesting, so they didn't really get a chance to show their talents, which I think is important in a debut. But I thought the styling and the choreography were good. The music video is pretty low budget, but C9's a small company. It's typical box set dancing. But I thought there were some like really cool lighting effects, and like the screenshot I used for this slideshow and stuff. Like there's some cool effects that they did.
Yeah.
But so they used their budget well, even if it wasn't the most high budget music video.
Yeah, so yeah, my thoughts of it was like, yeah, it's a boy group song. I mean, I think it's better than I think the average boy group song. I mean, I'm just not a huge boy group fan unless it's like the groups that I do love, and it's kind of bad because all the songs start sounding the same to me. Yeah. But I can tell this one's better. The chorus,
yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah, the chorus, I think it's okay. I like the idea of it. There's just something about the vocals in the chorus I'm not quite sold on. However, like the vocals in the back, like they do a cool vocal thing in the back. I don't know how to explain it, but there is something going on that I think was really cool. I didn't notice it until I listened with headphones in. And yeah, the music video, it's your classic boy group music video. I think they did a good job of making it look like it was expensive.
Yeah.
Whereas like, especially if you compare that to like throwback to like the last time I was on SF9's music videos where they just look cheap. Yeah. When SF9 is not from like a cheap company. It's like,
yeah.
Whereas like this actually, like, yeah, it's cheap, but they made an effort of it to like look good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which is similar to like when we reviewed Yuna's music video. Like that music video isn't high budget, but the like shots, like the lighting and the camera work are really good.
Yeah, again,
it's like made up for the fact that it was a low budget.
Yeah. You can make up for a lot of that with just good cinematography. And I mean, I guess like they have like a lot of effects too. Like the screenshot that Nate picked, they do a good job of like providing like texture. If that makes any sort of sense, there's a lot of like tangible feeling in like the sort of thing. So I guess if you relate to it on that sensory level, it's not going to seem as cheap as like, lighting, all that sort of stuff definitely makes it look a lot more expensive. And that's definitely like a plus on their part, knowing how sort of low budget this entire company is.
Yeah, and then I thought Jin Young looked amazing. I mean, he was never someone I really cared for in 101. I watched Produce 101, and I will always remember his like audition thing where he did growl just looking at the ground the whole time. Like that is him to me. Like, so then to actually like see him with like stage presence, it's like whoa. Like,
ugly
he's
duckling,
really
like,
improved.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to even focus on the other members because when he takes center, you're just like, oh yeah, like he's got it because he has this experience.
He was the visual essentially of 101. Like that's why that's pretty much why he got in. So like he does that job very well.
Yeah, and then choreo wise, I agree with you. The beginning part of the chorus, where they like swipe their hair back. I think that is such a cool move. The rest of it, it's okay. It's just normal choreo. But yeah, that first part, I just think it's so smooth. But yeah,
definitely good describer of the song. So moving on to the next song, Like It That Way. So
this is a Backstreet Boys song. I like it that way.
Hey, we stand in sync in this house.
Nope, I'm a Backstreet Boys.
I don't know. If you put a gun to my head and asked me like which one like to like stand, I wouldn't know.
Sync.
I owned Millennium album, so
I like both. So anyway, so Like It That Way kind of has like a reggae feel to it in terms of instrumentals. I feel like they going away from the sort of central R&B type of feel. They get to showcase a bit more vocally. Still kind of the weakest track for me. Again, I just get bored of these songs a lot easier. So that's all I really have to say.
Mm-hmm. You know what's sad? We can't even ask Jacob to tie break for us because he wasn't even old enough to listen to NSYNC or Backstreet Boys.
Oh wow, you're right. Yeah,
98.
Baby, he's a baby. Okay. For this song, it felt like it was typical like boy group R&B style vocals, but then they put it over like a bit of a reggae beat, which was interesting. I really like the pre-chorus with the piano synth build though. and then it kind of like goes back, because that was like a little unexpected, but then it kind of goes back, puts the trumpet part into the chorus and really pushes that like tropical Latin vibe. I thought the vocals were solid, but I thought the rap part definitely stood out the most during the song, like out of the tracks so far.
Mm-hmm. Sam?
Okay. I said maybe we're talking about a different rap, but I said the rap is terrible. Terrible. Because he just goes, I like it, like it, like it, like it, like
no,
it.
No, there's an actual rap part.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a different rap line. Yeah.
Okay. This is the one that just stood out to me because I was just like, well, this is bad. And then I was like, I want it. It's like
no, it wasn't a repetitive. It was like an actual rap verse. Like
good. Because I was gonna say. Yeah, that's pretty much my only note of the song. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I guess it's a reggae-ish song. Yeah, it's a B-side.
Definitely a B-side.
Yeah.
Wait, did you have anything to say, Nate, or?
I already went.
No, I'm just, yeah, so you start talking.
Excerpt? No.
Okay. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Imagine, it's a cover of the John Lennon song.
Yep. 100%.
No, I mean, if it wasn't a cover of the John Lennon song, that'd be really crazy. Because
you say John Legend?
John Lennon. I know my Beatles. Anyway, so this Imagine is a sort of like funky, upbeat type of track. Love the bass line, obviously. We definitely need more boy groups that do this type of music. Just because I feel like I think I explained this before. It's like there's almost like no in between. It's either you're a super sexy, like over the top, like boy group, or you're just like super like young, youthful, a la like TXT Golden Child. Like there needs to be sort of like an in between. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be more of an in between, and I guess this sort of fits the vibe. I'd say like I enjoy the song for the most part, just because again the instrumentals. I kind of wish the chorus was a bit more impactful, because this is where it's at, or like. It kind of just felt a bit too quiet for me, especially compared to how like loud the instrumentals are during that section. But yeah, I mean, just instrumentally, I'd say it didn't disappoint me. Just again, love the bass line, love the sort of guitar riff they have going on throughout the entire song. Again, big fan of just like throwback funk songs. So yeah, this was another good album track.
Yeah, the song starts off pretty much exactly what you'd expect from like typical boy group like funk song. I thought the bass part and like the falsetto harmonies stood out really well. And it even has like that typical like call and response, like shout repeating part happening. Pre-chorus didn't go where I expected it. Like it mellowed out a lot more than I thought it would. But then the chorus kind of goes back to exactly what you'd expect, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It was just typical, I guess. I thought my favorite part is definitely the bridge, though, with like the acoustic guitar and the shouting vocals. That was definitely the thing that stood out to me the most for the song.
Yeah, this song, it's like I feel like I should like this song and I want to like it. There's just something about it, or it's like it felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. It felt almost like it was too chill for trying to be funky, and I don't know. It just it didn't really like sit well with me, I guess. Like it just like it fell flat a bit, and it was just clashing, and like I felt like they didn't have any energy in their voices. Like even when they're kind of doing like that chanting thing in the bridge, it's like quiet, which I don't understand. I don't know. Not that chanting needs to be like loud, but the mood of it, I didn't know what it was trying to be. I don't know, maybe like if I knew the lyrics, it might make more sense. I don't know. Like it's like I think it could be a great song. It didn't sit well, I think, with me.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to how I felt. I wish that kind of needed more impact for how fun the instrumentals were. So yeah, just it didn't match up necessarily with just what you were expecting.
I apologize if my mic is picking up any of that thunder. I don't know.
Yo, is it? Did like Thor land outside?
It's not that loud, but
okay, that's interesting.
It might be picked up. Who knows?
Okay, so we close out this mini with the one. So I'd say, speaking of one, this is probably the most 101 sounding of the album tracks that they had on here. Definitely, it's nothing too ambitious. I feel like they're trying to go for that like mid-tempo vocal, focus type of thing with some appearances from the rap line. But yeah, I think for me, I feel like the vocals on this probably stood out the most, just because again, it is like you don't really get too much of an opportunity to do that on the other styles of genres that they touched on here. But again, being sort of a more vocal focused song, kind of a ballad, only natural that their vocal performance would stand out the best on here. So yeah, definitely an enjoyable way to end the track or the album. So Nate.
Yeah, this is like that more R&B ballad song, which I kind of expected it to be, not having one on the album. But it's got like that sentimental vocal and rap style, which honestly I like that type of boy group song, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I thought it was decent.
That's like a favorite of yours, I remember. So
yeah, just like old like original like Big Bang like blues Haru Haru style stuff. Like I really like those types of songs for boy groups. So yeah, I thought it was good.
Sam.
Yeah, this song, it felt very boy group to me, but not necessarily like K-pop boy group. It just kind of maybe gave me like kind of a One Direction feel or something.
Yeah,
and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah,
like it's like, I mean, we had boy groups here, and it's kind of like a sentimental feeling of it. Like especially like when they say, "Baby, I know you are the one," or whatever in the chorus. Like there's something kind of like, I don't know, makes you feel good, I guess. Like it just feels, it's a nice song. What else I have to say? Oh, the clapping and chanting that they did at the end or whatever. I thought that was really funny. There's just something about whenever they incorporate like chanting or clapping into a studio album, like, hey, when we perform this live, you guys are gonna clap at this part, okay?
Yeah.
Like, it just felt interesting. But like, I really liked the song. I don't think it's necessarily this great song, but I enjoyed it.
Now that I'm listening to it again, and now that you sort of brought up like that, it sounds like Western boy groups. It kind of reminds you of Dream Street, if you remember, because they had a song like "It Happens Every Time." It's almost the same key too. So God, we're just making like old '90s boy group references nowadays. Like people listening to this probably weren't even born, but yeah, I guess similar vibes to it. So. All right, that does it for the review. Now on to scores. If this is your first time listening, we do a 10-point scoring system. Maximum of 7 points goes to music. A maximum of 3 points goes to concept.
Technically a 20-point scoring system because we use 0.5s.
I guess.
It is. That would be a 20-point scoring system.
If you want to nitpick. Okay, so on my end, again, I split my 7 points into 3.5, 3.5. For the single, I'm giving it 3 points. I really thought Movie Star was a good way to sort of start off their career as CIX. Definitely something I feel would do well, both domestically and they're good. They're gonna probably do well regardless of what we think, because it's freaking Wano. It's a freaking Wano One member, so there's gonna be people that'll follow them till the end of the world, essentially. So
yeah, and then come to KCON with giant telephoto lenses and get kicked out by security.
Yeah. So
just
their fan base. Yeah, I think their fan base was secure from day one, but it's nice to see that they had a good song to sort of start off their sort of campaign with. Album tracks 2.5 points. Again, it had some standouts, but I feel like nothing outside of what you wanted stood out or stood on par with Movie Star. I'm giving it 2.5 out of 3 for concept, though. I felt I was kind of high mostly on the cinematography. Also, again, the choreography I really liked. Again, it doesn't have to be something too crazy. Just again, something that fits like the sort of central vibe of it. Again, the texture that they provide in the cinematography. So I was pretty surprised, again, just knowing it's from a low budget sort of lesser tier company. They definitely did a good job of sort of building up the visual aspect of it. So I feel they should be rewarded in that aspect. So that's an 8 out of 10. I did not expect him to give this high of a score for like a new boy group, which is like not my specialty at all. So
3. Wait.
Sorry. I was like, I'm pretty sure I did my math right.
I miscounted your music score.
Oh no, maybe it's my concept score threw you off because I rarely give anything over 2. So
yeah. Andrew over here saying he likes them the most. I gave them a 6 out of 7 for music. I liked pretty much most of the songs. There were a couple of different things I wasn't a huge fan of. But there were just small nitpicks like that radio static section in the first song, and just a couple of small things. But overall, I thought all the music was solid. and a 2.5 out of 3 for concept. Like you said, pretty much the same reason you gave your concept score. Like choreo was good, styling was good, music video for what budget they had was good. So everything was solid. And so I give it an 8.5.
Okay. Good scores. And then
now
we have Sam.
Tear it apart.
I will preface this by saying I didn't think the album was bad. It's just I thought it was okay.
4 out of 10.
So for the music, I gave it a 4 out of 7. This is like nothing too crazy. Like I said, there's really just the one song that I liked. Mm-hmm. And then concept, I gave it a 1.5 out of 3 because I mean it's to me it's a boy group concept. It wasn't anything that really stood out to me. I know I'm definitely I think in the minority on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, total 5.5 out of 10, which I understand that sounds really low. But like I said, I don't think it's actually terrible. Like it's a decent album, but it wasn't anything.
Yeah, you're more liberal with the range of your scores than I am, I guess. Yeah. So it doesn't matter anyway because Cooper ended up giving this a 9 out of 10 because he loves Baejin Young, he loves 101, he loves new group boy groups. That's his bread and butter. So yeah, definitely he and I are probably like the sort of two that most paid attention to this, and I guess so. Yeah, that'll do it for the CIX review. What do you think their trajectory will be?
That was a 7.75 to 8 total.
8, yeah, so pretty much right around where I expected it to be, or right around where I put it. So, did you like CIX's debut? Do you think Movie Star is a good single? Do you think Baejin Young is the person to stand in this group? Because I'm really conflicted right now. It's either like I feel like it's the easy answer to just say Baejin Young, but I also like BX because of like his rapping talent's pretty good. So just let me know who I should stand in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on the entire album in the comments as well.
Okay, let's move on to topic 2, which is our other review for this week, which is GWSN or Park Girls or whatever you want to call them. GWSN is what you want to call them. The Park in the Night Part 3. So I think they said this is the final part for this.
It's the final part.
It must be because they did like a box for the 3 albums. So.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
So
you guys aren't getting my joke. It's the final Park.
Park. Oh. You were cut like it wasn't. The audio quality wasn't good enough for us to tell you were saying Park over Park. But yeah, so this is their third release. Is this considered a mini album? It's in between. It's that in between state.
It's a mini?
It's 8 songs.
Yeah,
I think it's a mini.
Considered a mini.
I thought it was
still considered a mini. No.
It's the third. Yeah, a generous mini.
Yeah, basically.
Very generous mini.
So we reviewed their first 2 albums. If you're not sure who they are, check them out. We really enjoyed both of those albums. I assume I'll read this review because
you're
I
probably
really like this group.
You're gonna die in the middle here.
Yep, I'll do it. I'll do whatever it takes. So we're starting off with Red Sun 021 or 21 or however. They're continuing with their weird parenthesis titles.
Yeah,
there's some interesting ones in this album. This is the album single. And immediately I felt like it starts off and you could tell it's a GWSN song. They're definitely getting into that like G-Friend Lovely's territory where they have a signature sound, and they're kind of sticking with it. I'm okay with that. I can understand why people get bored of that. Some people aren't huge fans when groups kind of stick with the same thing over and over again, but they're doing it with deep house, and girl groups don't do deep house stuff very often. So the fact that they're like making it their signature sound is something I'm really happy with, since I love house music. For the first rap section, I was not a fan. I'm glad Mia is getting more lines, but I really don't like the style of rapping that her and Anne had. Like for that first one, the second one is a lot better.
Okay.
But that like just the vocal style they were like rapping with in that first part, it's just like really like gravelly and just doesn't really sound very good. And they don't do that for the second rap, so I don't really know why they were doing that for the first one. But that was like one of my few like negatives for the song. I thought there's some really good drops. I really like the chorus drop because it's a lot more like melodic than I thought it was gonna be. Because usually with like deep house, it's not super melodic. But so it had that like that hook melody going. The lyrics "Watch My Fingers" are hilarious to me because the way they say it is super intense in the chorus. Yeah, they're just like screaming at you, and I'm like, what is going on? This is ridiculous. But I mean, they've always had like weird English lines in their other songs.
That's kind of their thing now, if you really think about it.
It wasn't as weird and intense as this one, but I found it hilarious. As for the like music video and styling, I thought the styling for this comeback is fantastic. They all look really good. Choreography once again is good. They've had, I think, all three of their songs, they've had really good choreography. I think this one might be the weakest, but I still think it's good. And then the music video is pretty uninspired with some really cheesy CG. But I do like the sets they use for the dance portions. Like the like mystical, like, I don't know, like it's kind of like a broken down temple type like thing they have going on that they're like dancing in. I don't know. I thought it looked good. But the rest of the music video is just pretty average music video.
I mean, I feel like I voiced my concerns about this on the review of Park in the Night Part 2 in terms of just, I felt like Pinky Star was a bit too derivative of Puzzle Moon, and much in the same way I feel this is still a bit too derivative and similar. Like, I don't mind them sticking in like the deep house type of thing, but they're just getting to Momoland levels of making the same song over and over again. Like very instrumentally it's almost too similar. Like between this and Pinky Star, maybe this better just like a tiny bit, just because I like some parts, but it's not by much. I mean, like you mentioned, like Mia's lines are definitely like increasing. I'm glad that she had that, like the rap, like the trap break that they had for the second verse that you mentioned, I feel was probably the best part of the song. I'd almost want them to incorporate it as in its entirety, not just as like tiny like add-ins. Just maybe to like spice it up a bit as opposed to just doing straight up deep house over and over again. I like, again, I don't have a sort of like non-preference for drops. I mean, this one was all right. It's just knowing what the rest of the album sounds like almost makes me wish they didn't do this all the time for singles, because there's a lot of good vocals in this group. It's just they get buried because everything is a drop chorus. Like and even like when there is vocals, like they kind of just have to do it like, it kind of sounds annoying, almost like the 1, 2, 3. I'm just like, I know you can sing better than that. Like, you don't have to like make it cut off so like forceful in that sort of way. Yeah, MV is just okay. I mean, really just it's just like 1 or 2 sets. Choreography looks fun. Definitely like one of the best parts of this comeback. Just they do really interesting arm movements and sort of like formations and that sort of thing. But in all honesty, this is probably my least favorite song on the entire album. I love the rest of this, but pretty much if you just deleted Red Sun off of the rest of this mini album, this might have gotten like a way higher score for me. But unfortunately, they decided to go with Red Sun as the single, and I guess my complaints continue. All right, Sam, you're gonna turn this a new asshole? Or...
No, I mean, I liked it. I liked the song. I mean, it's the classic GWSN sound, and I'm very much okay with that. I love their sound. I love them. I definitely think this is the weakest of their 3 title tracks so far.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, like they're a group where it's like, I feel like I'd say like I'm totally fine if they never change their sound. I probably would get tired of it.
Yeah, three comebacks from now, you disagree with that probably, but
like, and maybe they will.
Like, maybe I love the deep. I mean, yeah, especially since this is like the end of a trilogy.
Exactly. They might do something different.
You never know, but
or they'll do what Dreamcatcher did, where they like,
it's like, just kidding,
trilogy.
We're still apart.
Then do another one because then people didn't like that comeback nearly as much.
They'll just nope out of like the concept change immediately.
So like their 5th release is the Park in the Night Part 4.
Yeah,
We're back.
We're back in the park, and it's still night.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing about the GWSN sound that I don't like is like what you kind of said, the gravelly vocals. I think that was a good way of saying it. Or they kind of do like this naggy sound where they're like the
Red
ah yeah, like
Yeah.
watch my fingers. It's like no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed they do it. Yeah, a lot in the raps, and it's like I mean I love Anne. She's my bias of the group.
Yeah, she's my bias too.
Every now and then, yeah, like her and Mia do that sound. I'm like, it doesn't. None of that sounds like good.
Yep.
It's just weird. So like the songs on this album that don't have that ended up being my favorites. Where it's like whenever they do it, I'm just like, just stop. I don't like it. But no, yeah, I thought it was a good song. Another complaint I had was in the bridge. The bridge was cool, and then at the end, Anne says, "Red sun," and it gets quiet, and then they go back to the pre-chorus, and it totally like was a letdown.
It should have just ended on the red sun.
Or it should have gone into like a really hard drop, like do the drop ×2 or something. Kind of like what Stray Kids did with Side Effects, where like you end with the bridge and then the drop is like more extreme than it's been.
Yeah, more impactful.
Yeah, and I mean, like I love the pre-chorus. I think that's my favorite part of the song. I think they do great pre-choruses. Like the Pinky Star pre-chorus is like the greatest pre-chorus in K-pop. At me, I don't care.
So good.
I love that pre-chorus, and I thought
it's not as good as From Us Fun, but
no.
From Us Fun is my favorite pre-chorus ever.
Okay, but yeah, and then as for like music videos, okay. I really like the styling. I like how in all these music videos they have like a retro styling to them. It's very like 60s, a little bit 70s. I mean, the clothes do look like they just got them at like Forever 21, but it's fine. Like I don't hate that at all. And
they probably did.
Yeah.
No, they're too high class for Forever 21.
And yeah, it was weird of like how they were like in the house and then all of a sudden it's like this like
mystical temple,
like it looks like like Final Destination and Smash Brothers or something.
FD, no items. There's 4 stocks. Fox only.
Random. And yeah, choreo goes hard. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know where I'd rank it amongst their other ones. Their choreo is all very similar. And I feel like that's gonna start hurting them soon. Of like they're starting to run out of things they can do with their arms and hands. But yeah, I thought it was a good song. Yeah.
Stan Soyoung, because she's amazing.
We'll get to that later.
Are we? We're gonna talk about biases randomly?
No. I'll talk about Soyoung later.
You're gonna talk about Soyoung later. Okay. Because she's an amazing vocalist. Next is All Mine, Coast of Azure.
What the hell is that so fancy?
Coast of Azure.
That sounds like a freaking like rip off of like Myst or something.
Yeah.
Coast of Azure. It's like a point and click game.
It's or like an old school RPG, like table, or like a top down PC RPG. Dungeons and Dragons, Coast of Azure. I thought I had like really nice, chill, like funk instrumentals. I really love the different guitar parts and how layered they are. There's like a bunch of different guitar parts in there. There's one like very prominent one, but there's a couple other ones that are less prominent that are kind of layered in there. The pre-chorus is a bit weird. It gives off a little bit of like this weird circus feeling, if that makes sense. But then the chorus goes back to the feeling that the verses had. Overall, I thought it was a good song. It was one of the less noteworthy songs, I would say. But it's got that fairly catchy, like guitar-based funk pop song. So it's not bad. It was just not noteworthy, I would say.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you said you thought the pre-chorus part was weird. Yeah, no, I mean, no, we'll get to my favorite song later.
Oh, favorite part. Okay.
It's in, yeah. I like that, like da da da, because I just like the melody that they write with it, and I guess it sort of fits their sort of fantastical, like carnival type vibe.
I get that. It just didn't feel like it fit the rest of the song.
Yeah, I guess it is a bit off.
Came out of nowhere.
If you first listen to it, but so I mean, I had to double check the lyrics because at first I thought they were saying, "Did you wake up? Clothes, head, shoes." I'm just like, why would you need to check when if your head's attached? They say hat. So
okay.
Yeah, just averting crisis there. So, I thought, yeah, that's probably one of the most memorable songs for me compared to, or granted, all of the rest of this. The rest of this album just felt like a breath of fresh air compared to like what I was hearing from Red Sun, just because I feel like, it's not necessarily anything new from Going One Song. If you listen to their albums like in its entirety, they have a lot of songs like this. It's just always refreshing to hear this when they're all you just think of Going One Song is just like deep house, and then where you get this where it's like a really fun upbeat guitar track. There's a lot of good vocals here, so I think that's probably why I enjoyed it a lot more than I probably should have initially. So I just think they work better, or they operate a lot better in this when they're able to show off that vocal talent a lot more. So yeah, this was a surprise enjoyable song for me.
Yeah, I liked the song. I think I would like this song a lot more on a different group's album. I don't know if it's because I have like a certain expectation or something from them. Because I mean, I think it's a good song. That's why I think if it was on maybe like a more cute girl group's album, I'd be more about it.
Like Lovelies, or?
Well, I don't know about like Lovelies, but
I mean, if you want cute,
sounds so harsh.
God no, God, how dare you?
Because like even if it was like
lovely.
Oh My Girl or something, which even I mean, there's some bias there, but I don't know how to explain that. There's just something where it didn't feel like this group fit the song quite. I don't know. I maybe it's just because like I have like my favorites from GWSN and it's not this style. So, but like I like this style. That's why I think it's like coming from them, I'm kind of like not sold on it, or
it's an alien type of feel for the group.
Yeah,
like you're not used weird. To. Yeah.
And yeah, and I watched the live stage of it. The choreo is pretty much like the same moves from Red Sun. Like they do the wave thing or whatever, and it's like, okay, they're already
waving's hard, man. I can't do it.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I didn't realize they did choreo for this one.
Yeah,
they did it at their like showcase.
Yeah, they did a couple songs for the showcase, so that's why.
Next, we have my favorite title on the album, Night Aviation, The Interpretation of Dreams.
What the hell does this mean?
I love their ridiculous.
I'm so for it,
over the top.
Yeah,
I know, it's awesome.
I need more weird-ass titles. Like, K-pop is too damn safe. We need more of this weird shit.
Yes, exactly. And weird, like, custom Bible verses at the beginning of music videos. Please. Because it gives me great English. It's technically not English lyrics, and nobody says them, but it's worth it.
It's worth it.
As for this song, instantly gives me Red Velvet vibes.
Yep.
Which is interesting because like throughout this whole album, we kind of get that mix of Velvet and Red switch ups, which I'll talk about more later. But yeah, this is instantly something I loved right from the start. Really interesting instrumentals. I thought it was really cool mix of like sci-fi sounds mixed with like some really good bass lines, like synth bass lines. Definitely instrumental stood out for me this song. Like the arrangement's really interesting, and then their vocals on top of it are great. So it's definitely one of my favorite songs on the album.
This is probably my favorite, just period, of the entire. It's probably in my top 5 of their at least album tracks, because I do like a lot of their album tracks despite my gripes with their singles. Because again, you mentioned it definitely has a Red Velvet feel to it, and it's songs like this that kind of make me annoyed that they want to like beat like the deep house style like with a like a dead horse, just because like there's so much more vocal range that they show on these types of songs that we don't get to hear on those house songs, and it just kind of makes me like almost frustrated in a way that like most people aren't gonna hear this, or just like I resonate with this side of the group a lot more, maybe because I it's very similar to what Red Velvet does, but again, there's just so much good vocal talent here that I feel kind of goes to waste if you're just doing like simple sort of deep house songs, whereas this I feel just there's so much more depth to. So yeah, this was easily my favorite of the of all the songs on the album. Yeah,
this was also my favorite on the album. Like it's so good. Like they just sound so good. I don't know if I necessarily say it's a Red Velvet song. Like it is velvety. I don't think it's Red Velvet, but because I also am not a huge fan of Red Velvet's Velvet songs. So like to this is like not close. I don't think they're very similar.
It's probably a bit more
except
upbeat.
for that it has like an R&B. It's smooth.
Yeah, it's the velvety side of their like mixed tracks. Maybe it's not pure Red Velvet.
But yeah, I love this song. It gets stuck in my head. I think they sound amazing. Like they don't sound like them, and that almost sounds kind of insulting after I just said they sound amazing. They don't sound like themselves. Like, it's amazing.
Normally they sound crap, but
well, I mean, it's like, kind of what I said too. Like how it feels compared to like how they are on like singles. It's almost like a different group.
They're not doing that nye like sound. It's actual singing. It's a great song. Yeah.
Next we have Total Eclipse Blackout. And I love the mix of like the fast building beat with the like cavernous underwater sounding like synths in the first verse, if that makes sense. It definitely gives it like a nice little mixture of like feelings, I guess. And then it drops into another great deep house chorus that kind of keeps throughout the rest of the song. I really like the like glitchy piano parts mixed in. They're more noticeable in the second pre-chorus once the like deep house synths drop out for a little bit, but they're mixed in there the whole time. Overall, another deep house song from them that I really liked. Like I said, I'm fine with this vibe from them continuing for now. And I thought this was another great song. I don't know. It's hard to say if I'd want this as a single over Red Sun.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, you didn't like Red Sun. They're different, so I don't really know, because the Red Sun has that like melodic line that isn't there usually in deep house, and this doesn't have that really. And I thought that was a nice touch, but I don't know. They're both really good.
I don't know. I feel like what this did better than Red Sun is in terms of vocal substance, because there's like an actual like vocal line during the chorus, like the da 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 da. Like Red Sun's just almost exclusively the drop, so I feel like that's what gave it a bit of an edge. It feels like a bit of a mix of what they do on a lot of their B-sides and again what they do with a lot of their singles. So yeah, I feel like if they could put out something like this as a single, maybe I'd be a lot more positive towards my reception of it. So yeah, I feel like this was great. Just again, a good balance of what I like about those house songs and what I like about the songs where they do get to show off vocal talent. So this was produced by Nomad, Cameron Nielsen, and Lauren Dyson. So they're the same team that's involved in Itzy's Icy. So take that.
Very different songs.
Very different songs. We'll get to that next week, but safe to say I like this one a lot better.
Yeah, so this was like the song that I think the Discord was most like hyped about, or they liked the most, especially Cooper.
Cooper was all over this,
which almost kind of like made me think the song was going to be better, even though I'd heard it before him. But he was like talking about it. I was like, okay, maybe I missed it. Missed it.
Yeah.
And I listened to it again. I was like, no, it's the same kind of like it's okay to me. I don't know. I'm not like, I don't think it's bad. I'm just not like obsessed with it, I guess. Like Cooper's like just been listening to it nonstop. I really like the instrumentation of the song. I think I'm much more interested in that than them themselves, like on top of it. Like there are definitely elements of the song that I think are really cool. Like just they have like a dirty sound every now, like dirty synth sound every now and then in the back. And just like, the blackout with like the distorted voice. Like I love that. Like I think that's cool. But yeah, overall, I don't really go back to this one.
Oh, we almost forgot to mention, like, there's parts where they literally like name drop like Puzzle Moon and Pinky Star.
Oh yeah, Mia's rap is just so calling back.
Nice. Yeah. Next we have Birthday Girl, 19 Candles. So this song was interesting because it's weird. The vocals are like super ballady, but the instrumentals are a lot more R&B with like the bass and synths. So I thought that was like a nice little mix up. Once it gets to the chorus, it becomes a lot more like standard ballad because it brings the strings in, and kind of just has that like very string heavy, like ballady vocal kind of style. But I thought the interest, like before those strings came in, it was a lot more interesting to me because of that mix up of instrumentals.
Mm-hmm. Why
Not
19?
Too much to say.
Why 19 candles?
I assume one of them turned 19.
Yeah, that's my assumption.
Isn't that like also like when they become an adult? Like 19?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, so 20 Korean age, 20 so Korean 19. Age.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like I pair this alongside like Night Aviation in terms of like vocal quality. This is where I really started sort of noticing Soryong's like vocal prowess. Just she carries the chorus almost all single-handedly. There are some parts where Lin and Minju do good vocally as well. So, and also there's like the bridge has like a bit of like feature bass in it, so that's always a nice touch, especially for me. So yeah, I again, a lot of these songs that otherwise I feel would be boring, I feel are just hard carried by how much I enjoyed the vocals. Again, kind of a surprise for a group that's known for deep house instrumentals, but yeah, again, it's another one that I just kept enjoying for whatever reason.
Yeah, I thought this song was kind of boring. It could be on any girl group album.
Yeah.
It is just that classic girl group B-side. That being said, though, instrumentation wise, there is some really cool things happening. Like I can't, go off on like specifics, but I just remember listening to it with headphones. I was noticing a lot more that was happening in like the verses. I thought that was really cool. Their vocals kind of bothered me a little bit. It was a little, I guess, thin. I don't know. It kind of had like the piercing effect where it kind of hurt my ears a little bit. I don't know. It might have just been like that one listen I had that, because I think I'd listen to it again. I didn't quite notice it the same way. Also, the song ends with a fade out, which like why?
Hey, it's interesting.
It's one of the most like lazy ways to end a song. They're like, we don't know how we're gonna end it, so let's just fade away, and no one will notice. I don't know. I'm not a fan of fade outs. Yeah. I mean, it's fine since they only did it on this song. If they did it on 2 songs on this album, I would not have been okay with it. But yeah.
Next we have Kind of Cool. And we finally get a tropical house song from GWSN, which is interesting considering their affinity for deep house. I've listened to their first. There's no tropical house album on their first 2 albums, right?
Yolowa?
Yolowa, it kind of is. You're right.
Kinda.
That's right. I listened to those albums a lot, but they blend together, so I'm not really. I never remember what's what. You're right though. That is pretty tropical housey. So I guess we get a second one. I did basically. I mean, it's tropical house. Like, there's not a ton to say about it, but the one thing that stood out to me, I really like the channel switching. Like between the chorus and the second verse, there was a quiet like kind of like a sigh note, like SIGH, not PSY.
Yeah, no.
But like there's like a sigh note that like rapidly switched channels. And I thought that was a really interesting like touch.
I mean, no surprise, this is probably my least favorite outside of Red Sun, and least favorite of the album tracks. But I mean, I'd say what sort of saved this for me is, again, I like the vocals despite kind of how messy the sort of tropical house sounds at some points. Just like I don't know, just some parts of like the instrumentation just during the chorus just kind of sound like it's all over the place. It's like the horns are in random places, but yeah, the vocals are still good, so that's all I need.
Yeah, I thought this was another meh B-side, just typical B-side. It was another song that was better. Yeah, one listening with the headphones. That's just kind of thing. Something that's just very big with this group is there are some really
there's
cool
a lot
things.
Of subtle instrumentals.
There's a lot of details in the instrumentation of it, which is sad that you don't quite just get it, with the listen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, okay, one thing, it was in like the chorus or post-chorus, I don't remember, but like there's like a flute piccolo like thing just like going, and I didn't notice that in the first like 3 listens, and I heard it with headphones, so I was just like, that's random, but okay. I think that was the only thing that really stood out to me from this track.
Tell type 96 if you think GWSN should add banjo to their songs. This is gonna be a thing now. Every review now.
No, they should. They don't need banjo.
Everyone add
They're
banjo.
good. They're good.
Not like Day 6.
Nah, they don't need
Jacob,
banjo.
you're so weird.
Banjo.
Day 6 needs a banjo is what Jacob said last week if you missed it. So
sure.
Next we have Black Hole, the other song that is Cooper's favorite. But this is another like super velvety style song. And yeah, like I said before, I kind of like the approach where they kind of mixed in like more poppy songs and more like slower, chill songs. Especially with 8 songs on the album, if they were all of a similar style, it definitely would have gotten more boring. And I think this mixed it up a little bit. I think their vocals stood out the most for me in this song. I thought they were amazing sounding. And I thought it goes really well with the mix of like different guitar parts and then like spacey synths that are there, but they aren't overshadowing the vocals, which sometimes happens in songs.
Yeah.
I thought it was balanced really well. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites.
I'm just I stand the like black dot thing that they use in the title of the song. That's incredible. Just so like random. It's gonna look so messed up.
I was gonna say it. Like,
does that show up in
their ridiculous titles?
Is that gonna show up in your Carnate or no? Just like the dot. Like,
I've moved away. You didn't hear? Were you gone?
Yeah, he scrabbles
I'm using
now.
Apple Music.
Oh
and
yeah,
I
sure. Yeah, I forgot.
now.
You'll be fine. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, this is another sort of vocal
Stupid
showcase.
Scrabbles.
Yes, Scrabbles. I'm the only holdout on the Scrabble train. So type 69 if I should start scrabbling my music.
But there's too many 69s.
They already had a type 69 for something. Or was that last part? I don't remember.
That
was the last part for Jacob being stupid.
Yeah. So. Anyway, so yeah, as a fan of just like 90s R&B songs, obviously this is right up my alley. Again, like you were talking about like the vocal parts, but even like the sort of talk rapping parts, that's straight out of like the period and everything. So I appreciate that sort of accuracy and level to detail that they added. Yeah, Mia's part was probably the best in terms of the rapping. Just she does really well here. Also, my favorite part of the entire song would probably be the chorus, because like there's a part towards the chorus where they have like an interesting like triplet vocal line. It's like da 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 da. Like I thought that was just a really nice touch that they have. Again, just a lot of the vocalization that they do on a lot of these songs was just super interesting to me, and it's probably it's saving the rest of this album from the fate of having Red Sun being, I guess, like the forward facing sort of thing to it. So yeah, Black Hole, really good song.
Yeah, this is my second favorite song on the album. I love it. It's so smooth and it has like a retro synthy sound to it. It even has like, like the electric drums thing. I don't know. I love it. And yeah, the rap, the bibbity boppity boo or whatever. I love it. It's so good. And then and I think it was in the bridge, they do kind of like the Russian roulette like vocal acapella thing where like it's so good. I think this is a great song.
I mean, you could probably say it's Mia's best rap. At least for me, it was. It's one of her most memorable raps, at least, because I can probably of what I can pick out of Mia's lines, it's definitely the one I sort of think of the most. So,
and finally, we have Recipe for Simon.
Who's
so
Simon?
we've lit Gru on fire, and now Simon is our fandom, because before we were growing for Gru and now we're cooking for Simon, I guess. So maybe after the Park in the Night we're gonna get a cooking concept. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna make a joke and I failed miserably, so I couldn't think of something good enough, because I don't know, I was trying to think of the next title, but
you're doing great.
No, I'm not. I'm doing horrible.
They're gonna do a cooking mama concept. They're not even gonna make a music video. They're just gonna put cooking mama screenshots, and that's the entire music video.
But can you cook for a cat in Cooking Mama though?
I don't know.
Maybe it'd just be a cat concept.
Or a cat concept. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Maybe it's all about cats. That would be.
I mean, there are cats in parks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe they'll star in the new Cats movie.
No, God, no.
I did not watch that trailer.
They deserve better. They deserve better than that treatment, please.
Okay, but as for the song, the first thing I instantly noticed was the main instrument for the intro of the song. I have no idea what it is. It's super high pitched, either like a modified guitar or some weird synth or something. But it was really interesting sounding, and definitely stood out for me. Um, but yeah, I thought it was just a song with some great vocals mixed with some like really catchy instrumentals. And the instrumentals, like you were saying, Sam, this is just something they do a lot though. But sometimes it's hard to notice if you're not listening to headphones. It's just like the instrumentals in this whole song just have like a really good mix of interesting effects on them. There's just a lot of like interesting things going on with them. And then, like you mentioned, there's cat noises. So there's meows in the song. So yeah, overall, good song. I thought it was a good ending.
Yeah, the guitar picking part is just like super. It's like all the way down the fretboard and everything, like super high. Oh, so I guess it's their MO now to just sort of have like an upbeat, like cutesy trap inspired song at the end. Because I mean, Growing with Gru was kind of similar in terms of its instrumentation, so I guess that's what they're going with. But I think I like this a lot better than Going for Gru.
Bold.
I mean,
Growing for Gru is one of their best songs.
No, because I love the like the vocals for the chorus are just so catchy. Like the your recipe. Oh, I have that. I've had it stuck in my head like all this time, basically ever since we were gonna start reviewing
Gru versus Simon fan wars.
Tell us what you like the better in the comments. Yeah, just there's like and again, I feel like I just liked it better vocally. Just again, the chorus, there's like that really nice part during the second verse where it's like da, just like the sort of step down melody. Just again, there's just a lot of melodic like stuff that they're doing here that's so interesting, so catchy, just in general. So like, I mean, I didn't really have any expectations going into this since I knew it was going to be a weird ass song, but I enjoyed it surprisingly for being a weird ass song with cat noises for no reason.
Well, the cat Simon's Mia's cat. That's the reason. It's a recipe for Mia's cat. It's cute. Oh yeah, I thought this was a nice song. It felt like it could be an ending song to like a slice of life anime.
Yes.
That's the feeling I got from it, which it's just it's a nice warm feeling. It's another one of the songs where I'm like, it could probably be on a lot of different girl group albums, but I mean, that isn't necessarily like a bad thing when I say that, but I don't think it stands out in a way, but I thought it was a good song. It was nice. Cute way to end the album.
Yeah. Yep. So that's it for GWSN's third mini album, and the end of the Park in the Night trilogy, supposedly.
We think.
Until they pull a Dreamcatcher. So yeah, let's get to our ratings. And for me, I definitely shoved my bias point into the musical section of the points. No, I mean, I feel like I said more negative things, but it's me. I like everything. Everyone knows that. So I give it a 6.5 out of 7 for music. I didn't give it a full 7, but I liked everything. I liked all the songs at least. Just a couple small things here and there. And then 2.5 out of 3, which is probably a little high for concept 2, but I really like the styling. Like you said, Sam, I really like how they've kind of kept that like styling throughout the whole like trilogy. And the choreography is also top notch, so it kind of made up for the music video being a little uninspired. So I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Again, my score is just weird as hell just because I hated Red Sun so much, but I love the rest of the album. So Red Sun gets 2 out of 3.5 for me. Again, I feel like they could have.
That's higher than I thought you'd give it.
I was say hates it, gives it a pretty decent score.
I mean,
gives it a more than half.
Because I thought I'd hate. Again, I liked it a lot more than I liked Pinky Star, so I'm not that frustrated in general. I'm more frustrated with them just using it as singles as opposed to like the actual song itself. Like the actual song itself isn't like too horrible. It's just, Yeah, I want them to do something different. Yeah, in terms of like what they choose as a single. Album, on the other hand, I pretty much liked every song on here, so I'm giving them a full 3.5 points on this point. So yeah, it's almost like polar opposite in terms of just like my thoughts on it. So concept 2 out of 3, and maybe that's kind of being a bit generous just because of the choreography, because again, I can't tell you what happened at all in that music video, or what like the most memorable part of that music video is, besides like the choreography. And I mean, I feel like they have to at least try more, or just do something different, because I feel maybe it's too avant-garde for me to understand, but so
I don't know about that.
it's a 7.5 out of 10. So again, obviously kind of low, but I feel like again, it's just pick a better single, or pick a single that's just not like super derivative of just whatever their first single was. So, and
yeah,
we'll see.
It's low, and then Sam's gonna give it a lower score somehow.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not that much lower. For music, I gave it. I originally had it a 4.5. I raised it up to a 5 because it's like, when I think about it, I'm like, I don't know. I also like the music more than I liked the last album, the CIX one. I'm like 4.5 and 4 are pretty close. So I'll give it a 5. Concept, I gave it a 2 out of 3, which, yeah, probably generous. It probably should be lower, but I do just like the group's concept in general. So I think I'm a bit biased on that. Like, I like retro. I like the deep house. I'm definitely biased in giving that score. So yeah, total of a 7 out of 10. I mean, I think this is easily their weakest album. I think.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm okay. Good. I felt like I'm in the minority.
No. I mean, I gave both of the other albums 10 out of 10. So
okay, because I love the second part a lot. That is one of my most listened to albums. I love that album, and I think that's why this one I was so meh about it, because it just didn't live up to it. Which unfair for me to do that.
Having
so many songs actually hurt it.
Okay, yeah, this was the other thing. I think
it would have
that hurt
been
it.
better.
If they took off Birthday Girl kind of Cool, I think this would have been a perfectly fine
better,
GWSN album. Those 2 songs were unnecessary to me. They didn't add anything. They were just filler. I mean, I'm happy with the generosity of more songs, but it would get a higher score for me without them.
Yeah.
So addition by subtraction, basically.
Yeah.
I think Cooper gave it a 7.5 for me, so same score as me. So doing the math, it's a 7.75, so it ends up getting an 8.
Goes up to an 8.
God damn
it! I gave it the bonus.
Yeah, we couldn't offset it enough, but I mean, that's not bad. So
no, I think 8's 7.58 is around. I mean, you guys put it both at that.
Yeah,
makes sense. It just rounded up a little bit. Jacob probably would have added. Well, actually, I don't know. Jacob doesn't seem. I don't know if he really likes GWSN that much.
Yeah, no, he's been absent every time we reviewed GWSN. So
really, he hasn't reviewed. Was he there? He had to be there for the first one.
I feel like
first
one
was like.
Was he?
Maybe. I think he was.
Okay, so
he might not have been there for part 2.
So yeah, for part 2, but yeah, in part 3, obviously. So what are your thoughts on Park in the Night? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Should they do something else?
Miki. I'm so picky.
No. I don't know. Do you think are they the best SN group? Because there's a billion of them.
No.
There's UHSN, there's WJSN, there's SNSD.
That's a little pushing a little too much. As much as I love GWSN, I don't know if anyone could possibly put them that highly.
UHSN has one song. UX Sonyo has one song, but I might put them above Gongwan Sonyo.
Okay.
Leslie, your thoughts in the comments.
He said it was his favorite song of the year, possibly.
One of my favorite songs. One of mine.
I think it's a great song. That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
I live for bold statements.
Okay. Let's move on to topic 3, where we get to talk about Twice and TwiceLights. So Andrew, do you have a set list or something up so that you can run through it?
Yeah,
I have one.
You have one. Someone have one, because I don't have one.
I had I'll go to setlist.com. So
yeah, I'll just
Google TwiceLights new work.
I mean, I guess we could just go over the set list like loosely, but mostly I guess we wanted to talk about our sort of thoughts, enjoyment. I guess sort of our experience. I know yours was different, Nate. So, Nate went to Chicago. Sam and I went to Newark. So just putting that out there. I mean, pretty much the same thing, I guess. Regardless.
Yeah, it was the same set list.
Same set list. So, just getting in the building was interesting. I was trying to look for fan signs. There weren't any fan signs. Like they were just.
Yeah, that was weird. That there wasn't any of that.
I mean, I got a pride flag.
Oh, that's a good point.
We
didn't have any either.
Not even in Chicago?
No.
That's so unusual.
I didn't even think about that until now. But yeah, you're right. Nobody was giving out like the banners.
I thought we were just too late, but no, no one had any.
I didn't see any. Yeah, exactly. That's interesting.
Yeah, so. I guess it's the changing it to Mina's color might have been like the equivalent kind of the signs.
I guess close enough. So anyway, I guess we can run through a bit of the set list. They started off with a bit of like a rock arrangement.
They started off with the best songs.
Yes, of the concert. Set list. Yeah, so they did Stuck in My Head, they did Cheer Up, they did Touchdown, just with a bit of a rock flavor to them. So Nate, I'll let you go off on this because I know you're. That's your specialty.
Yeah, Stuck in My Head and Touchdown. So Touchdown's it's definitely one of, if not my favorite B-side.
Like, yeah.
I love that song. So yeah, getting like hard rock mix of it. And then yeah, Stuck in My Head fit it perfectly too. Just like it was just such an amazing energy to start the concert with. And I need them to put out an album of this concert just so I have studio quality versions of those songs because I need those songs.
I'd actually consider buying like the Blu-ray. Yeah, the Blu-ray DVD.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying.
I'll definitely.
I mean, it'd just be recording the Seoul concert, so I don't know if the one they did in Asia was the same set list necessarily.
It was. It was
just same throughout.
Yeah, the set list is the same throughout the entire tour. So
okay,
when they put out the concert, they'll definitely use one of the ones from Asia because will be there. They wouldn't use
probably be like
North
the last
American.
one. It's usually the last one.
Well, if she's there, or the last one she was at, if she's still not good by then, but we'll talk about that later. But no, yeah, I thought it was such an amazing way to start off the concert. It just blew me away, and I really want the actual studio recordings of them and mixes.
Sam, were you as hyped for it, or?
Oh no, I thought that was incredible. Yeah, Stuck in My Head when that started. Whew, that was hype. Yeah. Like I like Stuck in My Head, but yeah, the concert version of it was so good. And like, Cheer Up was a blast. The whole place just like went nuts.
Was there pyro at one point? I feel like there was pyro.
There was. We had pyro. We definitely had pyro.
Oh, definitely.
Like around this, like we're just like, yo, why is everyone but KCON doing freaking pyro? It's so like again, I had my complaint about like they did fire, but they had no pyro like at KCON, so I'm just like that's just super disappointing. Yeah, they had like all these fog effects and everything too.
Yeah,
like,
they had a lot. Yeah.
Like they had so much more.
Red Velvet do pyro? I feel with joy.
They did confetti.
Yeah, they did confetti. I mean, this is like
which was surprising enough.
We saw it at because we saw it at like whatchamacallit? Like an opera
performing arts center.
Oh
we
yeah,
saw
that's
it at
right.
an opera house. I think using pyro in an opera house. Everything's wood. Everything's wood there.
Confetti there because it was like, oh, they're not gonna do confetti. It's at a performing arts center.
I forgot it was a different type of venue. That's right.
Yeah. And then Touchdown was awesome. Touchdown is my second favorite Twice song. So to have them perform that, like they performed that like every concert they've done so far. It's so good. And the rock version of it. Oh, that was so hype. It's such a great opening of a concert.
Yeah, that's and I've been to a lot of concerts too, and I can't really remember that many concerts with that much of an impact from a girl group of all things. Because usually you'd sort of expect that from like boy groups, or like you don't really get that much high intense energy type of things from girl group singles, but.
Yeah, especially weird opening up with B-sides.
Yeah.
It's pretty unusual. So for them to do that and for it just to be so awesome, like that was good. That was good.
Yep.
So that they followed up with the Korean version of BTZ and Yes or Yes. So any thoughts on these?
Yeah, they were good. I was actually surprised to hear Beat Easy.
I'm not.
I wasn't sure if, like, it makes sense. I definitely, if they did it, I knew they'd do the Korean version. But yeah, I wasn't really sure if they would do that or not. So that was a nice surprise.
Oh yeah, I love Beat Easy, so I was ecstatic. Yes or Yes, not so much, but it's fine.
I like Yes or Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was hyped for Beat Easy too, just because I think I was just hyped for it just in general, just getting to hear.
Yeah, I was just hyped for the whole entire
concert. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So all of their songs are just they're such good like concert songs.
Yeah.
There's really they all have catchy hooks that everyone can sing along to. They're all high energy. Like it was just a great concert atmosphere.
And I think just to sort of, I guess, testament to Twice is that they've developed so much at this point that pretty much every song on this concert was just like hit after hit after hit, single after single after single. You really get that really from artists. And I mean, I guess it's a testament to just like they've been doing nonstop since 2016 essentially, for better or worse.
Yeah. But. And even the B-sides, like everyone could sing along to, they were all like they're known. I mean, they did a lot of the B-sides off of Fancy, but like the older ones, like everyone knew them. Like Touchdown, everyone knows.
Yeah, everyone knows Touchdown
because sing along
it's
to
catchy.
it. Like, yeah, exactly. They picked the right songs.
Yeah, really good choice of just set list. So after that, they did a bit of a video intermission, and then they went into I Want You Back, and then after that, they did Dance the Night Away. So thoughts?
I don't know why it surprised me because it made so much sense, but hearing I Want You Back was like, I didn't expect it because I kind of just forgot that they it was their song. Like I listened to it a bunch, but I just kind of forgot that they had a version of it. So I didn't really expect it to happen. So then when they started doing it, I was like, oh my God, how did I not think this was going to happen? But I was really happy they did. And then Dance the Night Away. Amazing. I love Dance the Night Away. I'm on the minority, I know. But
yeah, I mean, hey, I'm with you there. It's just Jacob doesn't like it because of audio issues or technicalities. So, Sam.
Yeah, I thought I Want You Back was a really smart choice. Like, I was the same way. I wasn't on my mind at all that they'd perform it. And then when they did, I was like, oh, this makes a lot of sense for them to perform this in the US. And it's fun. I mean, it's a song everyone knows, so it's really fun.
Exactly.
I mean,
and
they
sounded better in the live than they did on the actual recording. So it wasn't as cringy. I felt live.
I think their English has improved since they recorded it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And pronunciation and stuff.
Yeah, and then Dance the Night Away. I'm not a huge fan of the song. I'm okay about it, but I was hype. That's just how. I mean, I'm like that at concerts for songs I don't like, especially even the Twice ones. I'll still have a fun time.
Yeah.
And that's a good fun upbeat concert song.
Everyone's in their spot doing the dance. It was fun.
I think I Want You Back had a pretty interesting sort of mix. It had a lot more drum and it had some sort of almost marching band type of stuff behind it. Makes sense because they had the whole baton thing and the
I forgot about the baton stuff. Was cool. Yeah.
No dummy magic though.
Yeah.
She kind of ruined
baton out of thin air.
Yeah, she kind of ruined expectations for baton stuff, but I mean, I like both songs, so especially I Want You Back. So that's probably. Is it weird to say that? Actually, no. No. Sorry, Breakthrough overtook it as my favorite Twice Japanese song, even though it's
good.
Not really
it's
Japanese.
An actual Japanese song now.
I'd say
I think an English song.
I made that.
They performed for
an English song that's not even their original song.
Yeah, I was making that a tweet. It's a cover of an English song by a Korean group, but meant for the Japanese because it was for a Japanese movie and everything. So yeah. I enjoyed it. After that, they did After Moon and You in My Heart. So After Moon is when they had the whole section when everyone changed their light sticks to green because Mina was absent from the entire U.S. tour due to health issues and sort of anxiety and that sort of thing. We'll get into that in a later topic, but that was probably one of my favorite parts of the concert. And I think Ji-hyo started crying a bit.
Yeah, she did. She started crying at our stop.
So. I started crying.
It's a good song. It's a good song. Yeah,
Mina's my favorite member. My bias,
you didn't get to see her bias. So I mean, granted, you saw them. We saw them at KCON.
We saw them at KCON, but it's different.
It's different feeling.
It's very different because this was actually because you guys
the circumstances.
You guys you guys got to see Red Velvet, but this is actually my first like solo girl group tour.
Girl group, yeah.
I've seen so many K-pop concerts and so many K-pop performances, but I've never been to a solo girl group like tour that was a full
tour.
2-3 hour concert that was just one girl group. So yeah, it was a really good ballad. They did really well. They looked amazing. The Light Six was nice. Like Sea of Green Light Six was great. Our venue is a lot smaller than yours. So I don't know, like, did you guys have a lot of open seats, or was it pretty much full?
Oh, no, that show was sold out. Yeah,
it was. Like, well, yeah, but you never know with scalpers.
No,
like,
sold
half
out.
Of them could be
no, I mean, like, no, it looked like almost every seat was
pretty
filled.
packed.
Yeah.
Okay. Ours was too, but yeah,
it looked more
our
packed
venue
than
was
KCON.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
KCON was pretty empty, to be honest.
Yeah, KCON had some
Madison. They picked Madison Square Garden and didn't put any artist that was worthy of getting Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, so pretty much, it made sense that people, like, it being 2 weeks after KCON, people were probably saving their money.
And people don't have the money for, and Monsta X is 2 weeks later. And, like, there's just a lot of concerts going on.
Yeah, it's New York, like the New York area, just super. You have to pick and choose at this point unless you just roll in cash. So
yeah, our concert venue was full too. But yeah, it was probably half the size of Prudential. I think Egg looked it up and looked up the like capacity or whatever. But yeah, it was full too.
And yours is it's more of a theater, where ours is like an actual.
No, ours was an arena. Ours was a basketball.
Wait, where was it at?
Wintrust Arena.
I don't remember. I thought it was at the same place that Red Velvet was at. Oh
no! It was bigger than Red Velvet Monsta X in Chicago. I think it's like their WNBA and then some college basketball teams play there.
Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense why it's a bigger arena. So I didn't know. I thought I thought they just have it at the same place, because I mean it's subcased, and I thought they just booked the same venues. So
they knew that Twice could pull in a bigger crowd.
Yeah, Twice and Blackpink are probably the only groups that could do a sold out solo tour.
I think it was where Twice was, or where Blackpink was too, for Chicago, because like beforehand I was at a bar and the security guards were next to me and talking about K-pop.
They're experts now.
Sam told me to be they were talking to the bartender and she was like, it's interesting that you guys know like all about this K-pop stuff, and they're like, yeah, it's part of our job. Like, that's the only reason we know. It's just like these middle-aged white dudes that are just have no reason to know about K-pop, but I think they did security for the venue. So, and they were talking about Blackpink specifically, and Twice and BTS. They mentioned BTS, Twice, and Blackpink. So, I assume that's where
like the holy trinity of like Western like popularity, I guess. So,
yeah.
Also, they did Sunset, which I forgot to mention. Which I was so happy because I love Sunset. That's probably like that was more like the redeeming like factors of that album, because I was so like blah on Yes or Yes. So granted, I've definitely come around to, that was off of what the same album was, What Is Love. Never mind. So granted, that grew on me too. So Sunset. Then they get into an interesting part with Heart Shaker, where they do the first verse of Heart Shaker.
You're not gonna let Sam talk about
Oh, did you want to talk about
that part?
I didn't know.
I'm not even sure. Also, I think you're right the first time. Sunset's Yes or Yes, not What Is Love.
I'm looking it up right now, so
I'm like 90% sure on that.
Yeah, Sunset's on here. Yes or Yes. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I had much to really add. They did the ballad. Sunset was nice. The dresses were really pretty. The light sticks were cool. Yeah.
I wish my stupid light stick would work. I need to buy a new one.
I wanted to buy the new one, but I have my rules when it comes to buying light sticks, because I have my collection rules. I couldn't convince myself to do it.
I was gonna say screw it, because I have the Gen 1. I have the Gen 1 one.
Yeah, but it doesn't work with the app anymore, right? So
basically I spent like half an hour and it was telling me the light stick needed an update, and I would hit the thing to update it, and then it would just crash the app. Then I would start the app and I would try to change the colors of the light stick, and it would say it would need an update, and then it would crash. And I was like, oh, you guys did this on purpose to make me buy a new light stick.
In what universe do we have like firmware updates for goddamn light stick? Granted, I was in line. I was in line trying to buy it, but that shit sold out in like 5 minutes. So like
I'm surprised they were even selling them.
I mean,
most K-pop concerts don't sell the light. Here, at least, don't sell the
arena concerts usually do.
Like, I've only seen it for BTS.
EXO. When I went to EXO, they had it. Yeah, so basically anything that's a big arena like solo concert, it seems like they have light sticks because that's kind of like important.
And it makes sense with this one because this is a new one that's kind of been hard to get recently, like over here. So like people wouldn't have them, and it would kind of look a lot worse if people didn't have them. I feel like.
Yeah, I know. Almost everyone had a light stick in there. Like it was, there were light sticks. Sea of light sticks, definitely. So, anyway, onto the Heart Shaker sort of interesting arrangement. So they did like the first verse of Heart Shaker is like this like some sensual ballad type of thing. They go under the stage to change.
Yeah, and then everyone was like, "What the hell? That was weird." They did one verse, like one chorus and one verse of Heart Shaker, and just ended. And then they do out of nowhere.
And then they do like the rest of it, but it's like super sexy Heart Shaker. Like my tweet went and it was like, wow, I didn't know Heart Shaker was supposed to make you cry this much. And then the follow-up tweet was, wow, I didn't know Heart Shaker was supposed to be this sexy. I was just like, wait, what the hell happened? So what'd you guys think of like the whole like change up with this song?
Yeah, it was interesting. I liked it. Like I liked all the remixes in this concert. Like it was really cool to hear all these like different takes on their songs instead of just giving us the normal songs. But the cut was just still like really weird. Like I don't know why. It like felt really weird. I wish we got like full version or like 75% of ballad version at least. And then because like it was such a short amount for the ballad version, and I kind of wanted to hear more of that. But then obviously, going into the sexy part, like that was just ridiculous. Like I don't know. You didn't. I don't know. Like
I wasn't
like in a good way. Like I didn't expect it, and like. I don't know. Everyone says like Twice can't do it or whatever. Like can't do sexy concept, but like they clearly can. They just won't make as much money. They know they make so much money off their like super poppy fun concepts that like there's no reason to not do them.
I'm sure,
but they definitely can do them.
So Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought this was awesome. I thought the whole execution of this was so good. Because I mean, Heart Shaker is tied for my favorite Twice title track. And so when it started off like the slow, it's like, oh, this is cute, it's sad. And then right as it's gonna go into the chorus, like I just loved that, like the tension of it. It's like
you liked the stop. Okay.
Yeah, they left you on the high. They left you on a high note, literally.
Yeah, it's like when you're like doing like a scale, but you only go up to like 7 notes, and you want like that urge there. There wasn't the resolve.
It didn't resolve.
And then for them to come back like right where they left off, I was like, what? I don't know. I thought that was awesome. And then the sexy concept of it, I don't know. I was freaking out. I thought that was so cool. It was fun. I loved it.
They kind of gave the sexy treatment because after this they did Strawberry too, and I was like, wait, what?
Oh no, Strawberry was insane. Woohoo and Strawberry were like so good. Like they did like they had like the handkerchiefs, and they were doing like the handkerchief dances and like dropping on, like picking them up and stuff, like just taking those two songs, which like Woohoo definitely is not a sexy song at all.
No way. That's like that's Strawberry. That's like a super deep like B-side cut for like really Twice.
And like
too.
Strawberry, you could and I love Twice B-sides. Well, that's a separate thing that we always argue about or whatever, but like so I've listened to all these songs a bunch and I know all these songs, but Strawberry, like it's like you could see where it would fit that type of style on like Woohoo. Like Woohoo definitely they had to like make a crazy remix. Strawberry is like it's definitely like weird and indie sounding, but like it definitely leans closer. Like it's the transition wasn't as crazy basically to remix it into like a sexy song. But both of those songs were insane. Like
because I guess Strawberry's kind of a bit more upbeat than Woohoo was, so it's less of a stretch for it to sort of be refashioned in that sort of way. So Sam, I know you Strawberry was one of your favorites or songs just going in.
Strawberry is my favorite Twice song. So I didn't think they were going to perform it.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't make sense to me for them to.
Yeah, it definitely, the normal version wouldn't have made sense. Like
and one of the reasons why I love Strawberry so much is because it's such a cute song. Yep. So then when they did this, I was just like...
You're like, what is happening?
I was like, I'm seeing the song in a whole new light now.
Yep.
It just shook me a little bit of like, what are they doing?
Well, like the
song.
Yeah. like the yogi, and they're just like
oh my god. I mean, I loved it.
Lord.
Don't get me wrong, I loved it.
It was ridiculous and insane.
Yeah, I was losing it. I was just like, what are they doing? It was good. I loved it.
Yeah.
So after that, they get into their trio of covers, starting off with "Dance for You," which is a Beyonce cover done by Dahyun, Sana, and Tui. So Dubu. Yep. Not necessarily the people I'd expect to do the like super sexy song, or at least with like Dubu and Sana. Like Tui did that Miss A cover for I forget what show, like back like last year, so I can understand.
Yeah, one of the other shows.
Yeah, but this was definitely like threw me for a loop in terms of just what the fuck. Sana's known for like being like the super like upbeat one and everything. She or like the super like happy one, not the super sexy one.
Well, especially Daeyeon. Like,
yeah, dude,
Sana, I could see it because Sana like literally her whole brand is like cutie sexy, so like she could do both.
Yes, that
and
is
like
hers.
She's kind of like a mixture, but like Daeyeon like is the epitome of like high energy cuteness, so like dork. Yeah, exactly. So that was ridiculous, but I just loved how ridiculous this whole performance was because they're standing in front of giant fans and they're just like
I saw that too.
They turn the fans on and their hair just starts blowing back. I'm like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous.
You don't need
this. So good. No, but like they did need it. It made it so much
better.
Yeah,
that's what made it enjoyable.
Exactly. Like it would have been good. It would have been good, but the fan like blowing their hair back was just so ridiculous in such a good way. I would just like had a huge smile on my face. I'm like, they really did this. Like they went this far, put giant fans in front of them. Because I thought it was weird. I was like, why are they setting up on the left side of the stage? Like, there's like something weird going on here. Like, what are they doing? Because they weren't center stage. Like, or at least for us. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it was they were on to the right side.
Or they were stage left.
Yeah, stage left.
Like stage left.
Taemin's stage was stage right.
Right, stage right, and then middle for Lady Gaga stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they first started up, I was like, why are they left stage left? Like that's so weird. And I was like, oh, they put giant fans there.
So, Sam, were you blown away by this as well? Not literally.
But... no pun intended. But I mean, I was laughing, I think, the whole time, but like not like laughing at them. Like I was just laughing at the extraness. Like me and Baron just lost it when the fans like started going. Like it was great. It was great. Like I think if it didn't have the fans, I would have been like, yeah, cool. But like with the fans, it set like a tone, I think, of it. Which fit, I think, well with the members that were doing it.
Yeah. It made more sense to die on there. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Next stage was Goodbye, which is a cover of Taemin, which was done by Jihyo, and of course, friggin' Momo. aka friggin' Taemin's biggest fan. Did you ever see that? Did you ever see that?
Stan.
Did you ever see that, like, there's like a really, like, poorly photoshopped like huge eye thing of like pre-debut Momo, and like they like just super like Koreaboo type stuff where they put like hearts and like their favorite like K-pop idols and everything in there.
Oh really?
Oh god. Anyway,
no, I haven't seen that.
Anyway, so that wasn't good. This stage, on the other hand, was incredible. I thought it might have been my favorite. It's probably one of my favorite dance covers I've seen just in general, and I didn't expect Jihyo to be the sort of person she did it with as well. But I mean, yeah, Jihyo's a good dancer in her own right, so.
Yep, completely blew me away. Like you said, I didn't expect Jihyo to do a song like this. And as truly Daebak's biggest Shiny and Taemin fan, I did not expect to hear a Taemin song at all. It actually surprised me because like I would have I kind of expected them to do like the instant the song started and it was that style. For a second I thought they were doing a Just 2 song because that would have made way more sense. Like yeah, you're a JYP artist that does similar music. It's a duo. Like so I thought they were doing a Just 2 song, but then it became a Taemin song. I was like, oh, that's interesting, but I'm all for it. And yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite stages. I thought they did incredible. And I like how later on when they were talking about the different stages, Momo was like, do you guys want Twice to do a concept like that next time? And everyone's like, fuck yes. Like, yes, of course we do. Like, yes, do a Taemin style concept Twice. That would be insane.
they've covered Taemin and like Shiny. They've done it enough that I feel like they do well with it, especially Momo.
Yeah, they've done,
Momo would probably be like that. That'd be her magnum opus in terms of like what she can do in terms of choreography. So
yep.
Sam.
Yeah. I don't think I have too much to add to it. Like, yeah, it was good. I thought it was interesting that they did Taemin and like the other 2 covers were like Western, like not K-pop. Yeah. But I was good. I would have like loved if they had done Move just because of like how that like
they did it already
blew
though,
up.
I guess. So
I know, but it's like it's because they have done it already and you've seen it that you like want it live.
Yeah, but it would have been. They would need more people too though. Like just the 2 of them would have been.
Yeah.
Like they would have needed the full squad of like Chaeyoung and Mina. I think were the other 2 that did it, or what it was. Momo,
Diane's was also in it.
Yeah, Jihyo didn't do it.
Yeah, Jihyo wasn't in the cover. So,
but no, yeah, I thought it was amazing. And I liked how the other thing, or because they said Momo picked the song when they were talking about it.
Oh,
so,
makes sense.
Obviously, made sense. Like, yeah.
So after that, they did a cover of Lady Gaga's "Born This Way." It was Chaeyoung, Jonghyun, and Nayeon. It was supposed to be Mina, but
Mina would also have been there.
Yeah, so but she was absent. So, I'm just surprisingly good cover, I guess. Just vocally, I kind of wish they kept the hats on because I like those. Went well with the outfit. Glad they didn't like sort of skirt around the like gay straight bi line. Like I thought they would, just because that caused like pandemic in Korea. I don't know. Do they only do these covers in like
no? They did those in the original, and they didn't censor it either.
No, I mean like they did it in Korea.
I think they did in Korea. I think they did all the stops. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know if they would do that in Korea, just because it's like gay agenda being perpetrated by K-pop. It seems like that's like the purpose. That's like the perfect like all K-pop headline or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, they did
it in Korea because that was a big thing. Like when the first tour, like the first stop happened, they're like, oh, they didn't censor it or anything.
Yeah, so yeah, really good cover of it, definitely vocally, and you have all like the vocal powerhouses definitely with like Jonghyun and Nayeon here. So and Chaeyoung definitely killed it in terms of like the dance and everything. So
and she had the whole like talk rap thing covered.
Don't be a drag, just be a queen sort of part.
Yeah.
So. It just makes me sad that Cooper didn't get to see this because Cooper is like the biggest Lady Gaga stan on the face of the planet, and they didn't go to Dallas, so rip. So what do you guys think of this one?
Yeah, I thought they killed it. Like you said, pretty much exactly what you said. I thought they picked the right members, and I think they just did a really good job.
Yeah, this was hype. Like when this came out, because I didn't know they were going to do it. Yeah, I lost it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a huge Lady Gaga fan, but
that's one of her best songs, though. I mean,
yeah, but like it was hype. And I remember I told my sister-in-law because originally I wanted to go with my brother and my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law was a huge Lady Gaga fan. And when I told her that, she was just like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah, we were already born this way, and it is so good." That was definitely like the crowd got really into that one.
Yeah, that was definitely
as opposed to like the other 2. Like the other 2, everyone's like, "Oh wow," but this one, everyone's like, "Yeah, like we know this one."
Yeah, of course, everyone knows it.
Yeah, everyone was like, kind of like laughing with the like Beyonce one, and then everyone was like shocked with the Taemin one, just like captivated, and then everyone was just hyped for the
actually got to enjoy
the Lady Gaga one.
So after this, they had like a intermission video doing "Turn It Up." I mean, hey, I'm glad they got to do that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of cool if they put that out as like a music video.
Yeah, just
they like made their own little fun music video. Like at the end of the tour, maybe they put that out as an official video.
And then like this whole closing like stanza of the concert was just hype because they went from Likey to What Is Love, like ooh ah TT, and then ended with Fancy. I'm just like, damn. What a way to end the concert. Seriously. I guess just any thoughts on all of those songs, because I guess you can kind of group them together.
Yeah, I mean they killed it. I'm really happy I finally got to see like ooh ah live, because I've been listening to it twice since the beginning and absolutely loved that song. I spammed that song so much. Was really what got me into Twice. Because I don't know if it's a hot take, but Cheer Up's like one of my least favorite Twice singles.
I can see it.
Like it's what made them. popular and huge, and I get that, and I like this song, but it's definitely like on the bottom of my favorite Twice singles. It's like bottom group. So but like seeing like wow, like I love that song, and the choreography is so good. So like it's really cool to see that live finally.
Sam?
Yeah, I don't think I have too much to say. Just a little funny story of the concert, I guess, was so during like that VCR before like they did Likey, so I really had to go to the bathroom at this point in the concert, and I was just like waiting for the right opportunity. And that VCR was so long, and the whole time I was hating myself for not going. And then the minute they came out and they performed Likey, I was even more mad at myself for not going to the bathroom.
Then you're stuck there and watch the rest.
If you don't know, I'm not a huge fan of Likey. So it just like made it even like funnier of just like I need to go to the bathroom. And there's been the joke of, oh, Sam's gonna go to the bathroom when they perform Likey. And I was just like, I should have just gone to the bathroom. But I mean, I still had fun with Likey. Like, I don't like the song, but
you don't like
I'll like anything live for the most part. Like, I shouldn't make a bold statement, but I'll enjoy it when it's live. And yeah, everything. This was all fun. You know, it's all the classics. Yeah, ending with Fancy. I thought that was smart.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they definitely ended with that. They are obviously going to end with like what their strongest songs are. So, Likey, I'm just so happy I got to see the Momo dance break and the dab, like the dab from Dubu.
Yep.
Oh, that might have been Dubu might have been the highlight of my concert, just period. Just
she was amazing.
Yeah,
she's just so extra
she
in
ran
her
the show.
In her. Well, one, she's just extra. Period. Two, she's just in her attempts to speak English. She's like I tweet. She's an English master, whereas Momo,
she was definitely the most.
Oh, Momo was sad. That was funny.
She couldn't read. She was struggling reading the English off the teleprompter.
Oh, really? Okay, she was fine for us.
Restarting.
Oh,
she was fine for us.
I love Dubu though.
Did Jonghyun not do English because she didn't do English for us?
She did some. I mean, but
like at the end when they all did their like goodbyes, I
think she did it in Korean, I believe.
Yeah. That's what she was like. She's like, I'm not gonna do this in English, and then just said a bunch of Korean and stuff. I was like, oh, come on. But then at the end, she just made like a couple of small comments. I think she mentioned that Chicago style pizza was good or something.
Ew, no. I can't believe she said. I can't believe she's done this. I'm sorry. I can't. No, Chicago style. If I wanted to eat like a tub of sauce, I just go eat a tub of sauce.
It's not a tub of sauce.
You're eating the wrong Chicago.
Yeah, you're eating the wrong style of Chicago pizza. It's mostly cheese, is what it is. Like if you get the right kind.
No, I'm sorry. New York style pizza will never be beaten. So
it's just pizza.
Anyway,
yeah, it's all good.
So yeah, they ended that. They had like the sort of like once missions where people had to like dance and like do all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So
answer the easiest trivia questions known to man.
Trivia questions. Literally one.
What
of
is
them
the
was
name
yes
of this
or
tour?
Yes.
And then one of them, the answers were yes or yes. Yeah, like
I was like, oh yes. So yeah, their encore was Signal, and then they did Knock Knock, and then they ended with Stuck, which is really nice. Didn't really expect them to end with Stuck, in all honesty.
Yeah. Honestly, I was disappointed in the encore because those are two of my least favorite songs, Signal and Knock Knock.
Yeah, and Knock Knock I was fun. Stuck was nice.
I think Knock Knock was like, I mean, both of them were fine, and I think they were like, I like both of the songs still, but like they're definitely like my two least favorite. So I kind of wish they switched it up and like in the like group of 5 songs they did to like end the show before the encore, they did those two and then saved like I don't know, like Likey and I don't know, one of the other like really big hype like fun songs for that encore. The other thing I was kind of hoping we would get was like original Heart Shaker. Like I thought that would have been cool. Encore would like have real Heart Shaker with like the real choreography and stuff as part of the encore too.
One thing that was interesting with this concert, because for their last concert, their encore was like one of like the cheapest kind of encores ever, whereas they just went through all the title tracks.
Oh, really?
For the movie?
For like for their first tour, and then
because the first tour, the first tour they literally did their entire discography,
both of their like past ones. So I was like, okay, they're gonna do that again, and then they didn't. And I was like, kind of, because I mean, I made fun of it when they did it the first 2 concerts, and then when they didn't do it here, I was like, oh, I thought we were gonna get all the songs again.
Yeah, I mean, for the first concert, it made sense though because they only had 3 minis out at the time,
still
and they
weird
literally
but they
performed the entire discography.
all the songs already.
Yeah, it was weird that they did them again.
They just played them while they're like throwing things. It was interesting. I've never seen anyone else do that.
I did like Stuck as the ending though. That was a really good ending. Like,
did you see the clip that we had? Because basically, there's just the part where they're just like screwing around during stuff, and then they're just going back on the float, and then Nayeon almost eats shit, like falling off the float, and she was gonna drag Junghyun down with her too. So it was so funny.
Oh, okay. Did they do dumb stuff like when the curtain was coming down while they're on the float?
Yeah.
Okay. Because like Daeon and Chaeyoung were doing like super sexy poses and like just being insanely extra, and the rest of them were just
Daeon's butt the entire time. It was so funny.
Oh really? No, yeah. For us, like Chaeyoung and Daeon were just doing like modeling poses, like super sexy modeling poses.
Oh yeah, Momo was doing that too.
The rest of them were just like, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
They were just staring at them.
They were just like shaking their heads.
Oh, that was fun. That's a cool way to just go out, as they're sort of disappearing behind the sort of LED lights,
screens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just I guess overall thoughts on the concert. I mean, this is all our second time seeing Twice. Did you see them at KCON 2017, Sam?
No, they didn't
go
to
my
KCON.
first time.
No.
Okay,
it was Baron's first time. It was just for me, you, and
just,
Jacob.
Yeah, just us. So having seen Twice now, thoughts?
Awesome. Lived up to hype.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was an awesome concert. Like, I mean, I've been to a good amount of K-pop concerts now. This is definitely up there as one of the, like, this was way better than Red Velvet's concert. And Red Velvet's my favorite group, or tied for my favorite group. So, like, that's just kind of saying like how good this concert was. I mean, one, the bigger venue makes a difference. Two, they did arrangements of the songs, right?
Yeah, it wasn't just straight up versions.
So there were actual like,
that was cool.
surprises. Whereas Red Velvet, it was their songs.
They just did their songs.
I love their songs, but yeah, there wasn't like these huge surprises, or there were some, but not like the Twice level like surprises we got.
Or like getting English Bad Boy at KCON last year.
Yeah,
like,
nothing that was in terms of surprises.
Yeah, I think like so. Yeah, I definitely I would put this up there with Monsta X. Like Monsta X live is insane. Yeah, because their songs are just so hype, and they have that, and like their songs are made to be performed live with a like crowd and just be hype as hell.
And Wano's made to throw his shirt into the crowd.
But then also like they have those surprises too, because like for the past I assume they're doing it this year, but the last 2 years of tours they performed a song that ends up on their next album. So you get to hear a new song, which is really cool, and then they do like covers and stuff too. So like this was definitely up there with Monsta X, Monsta X is probably my favorite of like all the solo tours I've seen. And yeah, I think this matched their level of energy and just like hype and funness.
Yeah, I mean, as someone that's sort of just been very like pessimistic about the sort of prospects of girl groups here in America, because a lot of K-pop fans just don't listen to girl groups as it is. But when we started Truly Daebak, like we were like saying like, okay, Twice tour, Twice US tour, Twice US tour, and I thought we weren't gonna get it, but I'm just glad it finally happened, and that it seems like Twice could do this every year. Like they do just fine. Like they'd make millions of dollars just coming to the U.S. every single time, because from what I saw, it sold out. So yeah,
I just like to say, "Oh My Girl" paved the way of girl group tours.
No, 21 I would say paved the way in terms of like having like
it was all "Oh My Girl." They paved the way of girl group tours in 2019.
Having concerts at like random casinos and having random drunk
Everyone's
people
like,
walking.
if "Oh My Girl" could do it, then why can't we?
Yeah.
Although, unfortunately, "Oh My Girl" could barely do it. Sadly,
they'll do it again.
Hopefully it does open.
I hope they do. I would go.
I really hope that Twice and Blackpink doing big arena tours opens the door for other groups to be like, hey, there's a fan base here. It's not just
where the hell is Dreamcatcher? They've done literally the entire world but North America. They've toured Europe and South America, and now they're going to Australia. What the hell? Give me my Dreamcatcher tour.
I don't know.
I'd fly to California for them.
Maybe, yeah. So I guess just my closing thoughts on this. I know I wasn't on here when you guys did like your favorite K-pop songs of 2019 so far or whatever, but I'd say Fancy is probably like the front runner right now for like my favorite K-pop song of the year. And getting to see that live was
You're gonna insult UHSN
so
like that? You just lied to them last week.
No, I said it was one of my favorite songs. It was one of my favorite songs of the year. Not favorite. Stop putting words in my mouth. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, just getting to see that live was incredible. You know, Sans Mina kind of like put a damper on it a bit, but still enjoyed it. I'd say I was almost happier for my niece and nephew to see Twice because they had never been to a K-pop concert before, and like this is their first K-pop concert. So
yeah, this was Evie's first K-pop concert.
Yeah,
she met me up in Chicago. She'd never been to a K-pop concert either, so.
Yeah, so just an interesting experience, and I'd say especially for my nephew. I don't know if I mentioned this on camera before, but he has autism. He's high functioning, but he definitely exhibits the signs of autism. So a lot of the times he can be very reserved or just very quiet, or just autism. People with autism are sort of anything that has to do with them being in a new environment or just being exposed to like sensory overload is always sort of like a touchy subject, or just you have to be careful with. But I'm just glad he had like the time of his life. Like he's like the biggest like Jewish fanboy, and every time Jewy was on screen he would just like scream his head off, and like he tried his hardest to get on camera and everything. Yeah, just to see him just enjoying himself and everything is just it brought a tear to my eye almost. So I was happy, and it's something I've actually been looking into or wanted to look into. Just maybe there's this wrestling company called AEW that's they started this thing where it's called like sensory inclusive or whatever. So basically, it's just like sort of a kit where people with like autism or just are on the spectrum can sort of like indicate if they're not feeling good, if they need like a special place to go, like sort of like cool off from like all the sensory overload and everything. So it's something that I'd definitely be interested in, maybe contacting like some K-pop companies or KCON about like sort of being more accommodating to people with autism or anything else on the spectrum. Because I think it'd be nice for everyone to be able to see all these concerts and enjoy them as much as we do. Just to be a bit more accommodating to their sensibilities. So I mean that's down the road. Obviously, I haven't planned anything out yet, but that'd actually be cool. Seeing how much my nephew enjoyed it just sort of really inspired me to maybe look into that. So I guess that'll do it for our review or recap of TwiceLights. So if you saw Twice, definitely let us know what your favorite, I guess, performance was, what your like how your stop was, if you met any friends, if you met Twice, I don't know. They're just randomly walking around like
like Tucker.
Tucker did.
Tucker got to meet them.
Wait, hold on.
You didn't hear about this?
No. I did. It's just I have to bring up the picture.
He just randomly got to be Jeff Benjamin's +1, and
God.
So he gets to go backstage and meet them, of course.
Oh
like,
God,
what the hell?
Tucker, is he gonna show up on our? Yes, yeah, here it is. So yeah, Reddit K-pop mod, head of AMAs. Where is it?
He hangs out in our Discord, so. And yeah, he got to go backstage and meet them.
Oh no, he didn't put it on his Twitter.
No, he just put it on our Discord.
It's in Discord.
He just posted it in Discord.
It's on our Discord. I guess I could put the image in post or something.
Yeah,
but
post.
Oh my God,
yeah,
he got to meet Twice. He said he got to speak Korean too, so I'm super jealous of him. So, Jeff Benjamin, let me be your +1 next time.
Okay, now we'll move on to a less fun topic to end the show. So we're basically just gonna talk about like K-pop idols with and dealing with anxiety and depression just in general. So obviously we just got done talking about Twice's concert, TwiceLights, and before they started their US section of the tour, JYP announced that Mina would not be showing up due to extreme anxiety in terms of like performing on stage and just that type of stuff. So we just wanted to talk about it a little bit and see, I don't know, just what everyone's thoughts are. Obviously, I think we're all going to have very similar thoughts in terms of how it should be handled and stuff like that. But we figured it was worth a discussion because also recently Taeyeon put out a post about depression. And obviously, it's just like something that's been coming up lately, recently. So yeah, I guess we can start off with just talking about Mina and like her situation and how JYP handled it and stuff. You want me to go first? You want to go first, Andrew? Or?
Sam, you can go first.
Sam, you go first. No, Sam wasn't ready to go first.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll just start off and like I deal with a lot of anxiety issues. Like I have panic disorder. I get panic attacks every day. So I definitely can empathize with this issue whenever it comes up. And one thing that always kind of bothers me in K-pop when a member is going to be out for anxiety is they're never really upfront about it. I've kind of come to the conclusion of whenever they say health issues,
yeah,
it's anxiety.
It's what they mean.
Yeah. Depression or anxiety.
Anxiety disorder.
So
they just can't be upfront
thing,
about it.
Yeah. And so one thing I really loved about the whole Mina thing was that they were just straight up front, like, hey, she has anxiety. And like, I mean, I definitely feel like if I was Mina, I would feel very self-conscious about that. I don't know if I would want that advertised to everyone because it's such a funny thing with anxiety. Everyone deals with anxiety, but everyone also is like not empathetic about it.
Yeah, that's weird. A lot of people like,
even though everyone experiences it, it's hard to like, kind of be there for someone when they have it. It's a very fascinating thing just from my personal experience of it all. So I really, applaud that, they've been upfront with it. They're not trying to hide it, you can tell the members, are worried. And there is definitely that concern of when will she come back? If she'll come back, like you just don't know because it sounds like this is pretty serious. This isn't like she's just like homesick or something.
This sounds like literally happened in the middle of a tour. Like she was performing concerts during this tour, and then in the middle of it was like, no, I can't do this anymore. So it's not something small.
Yeah, and so I mean, I really feel for her. I really hope she gets better. She's taking good care of herself. Seeing professionals. Getting medication if that is what she needs. It is different for everyone, and I think everyone for the most part is being very supportive. There's obviously been talks about like there's been the whole rumor of like, oh, she just wants to leave and go back to Japan or whatever, and that's just ridiculous. Whenever those kinds of comments are made, like it's just totally I don't know.
Oh yeah, JYP already said they're taking legal action.
I think there's been a huge influx because just basically relations between Korea and Japan have just been getting worse over the past years. So a lot of Japanese idols or just Japanese sort of public figures are sort of been on the like receiving end of a lot of that criticism and a lot of that hatred. So again, I don't know if anything's necessarily been confirmed of whether that had any part in her not wanting to stand on stage, but I mean, I can imagine it is. I mean, yeah, like we dealt with the same thing in Produce 48 where some people were just saying some horrible shit, like how they're just angry at like Korean men for wanting like Japanese women when they're inferior. Like it's some super like crazy like out of this world type shit.
Yeah, there's an insane level of like racial tension between Japanese and Koreans, like in terms of random internet people.
I mean, and I have no dog in the fight. I mean, both Koreans and Japanese hate people with as much of a tan as I do. So it's not like I'm taking a particular side. It's just it does seem like a burden that being a K-pop idol is enough of a burden as it is, but sort of being a K-pop idol from a foreign country, seems like a whole like new like Pandora's box that you have to deal with, and I can't imagine having to deal with it. So,
I thought like they handled it perfectly, like you said, Sam. Like, and this is something I'm really happy with JYP about, like the whole JYP 2.0 thing. Like they made a big deal about mental health and like actually having professionals on site like at JYP to like for their artists to talk to stuff. Obviously this is a big push after what happened to Jonghyun. That was a horrible thing that all these companies should be making sure doesn't happen again. So yeah, I think they're doing the right thing, and like you said, I think they made the right choice being upfront about it. Because like you said, every time they skirt around the issue most times, and it's just like it never works out well. I think it invites even more criticism.
Yeah, because you're being
then they're just like,
you're being ambiguous about it.
Lazy. She doesn't care about the group. She doesn't care about being an idol.
Which,
she doesn't work hard. Like
it's least, bullshit. But I mean,
yeah,
it's still
everyone, yeah, and it's like it just invites worse criticism. Where at least they're like, okay, they're being upfront about what's wrong and like open to helping her fix it. So yeah, I think they handled it really well. I think that's how they needed to handle it.
Yeah, I hope this serves as sort of a template that other
companies.
I mean,
exactly.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know if I don't know if SM or YG are willing to be this open about like what goes on behind the scenes, because if anything, like SM like has their whole like thing where like they have their issues. I mean, YG obviously you don't have to tell, I don't need to explain to you what's been going on there. So I feel like JYP's sort of been the only one that's sort of I guess more receptive, or I guess more accepting of sort of these issues. I mean, I can't think of anything in particular that's happened prior to this, but it seems like JYP is probably one of the bigger companies that definitely wants to take care of their idols just in all aspects. Like even before like the whole I guess JYP 2.0 thing, it seemed like JYP is definitely one of those people that cares about sort of health and everything. I mean, he said it in the speech, like you're and it's just basic, I guess, work psychology. It's like people that aren't happy aren't gonna work effectively. Like that's something. Exactly. And I feel
it's
that's
like
something
common sense for a business. Like you need to make sure your employees are taken care of and happy to be there, or they're not gonna want to be there.
Yeah, you're not gonna get the best work out of them if they have no investment, or if they don't feel like they're in a position to do such a thing. Yeah. And I mean, like everyone feels burnout or just feels, done. That's #done with at some point or another. I mean, like it doesn't have to be, idols or just, celebrities or whatever. I mean, I can certainly understand why, just because being an idol and being
it's nonstop.
Having nonstop in terms of promotions, CFs, just having your life just out there in the public, being micro everyone's analyzing it with a microscope at all times. Just that just seems tiring. Like I've said before, like I do YouTube and everything, but I never want to be famous just because I wouldn't be able to fucking handle just like the thought of everyone like analyzing every move. And I'm just like, I make mistakes so many times a day, and just, like I don't want to be on like the headline of, oh no, Andrew fucks up his life again. I'm just like, I can't, like as a person, I can't handle that shit for like on a mental level. Yeah, I'd say like there's a lot I'd say we have to grow from in terms of like both on the music industry side in terms of being more accommodating of, the human being aspect of employing idols and employing people. But I feel like as fans, we definitely have a lot of work to do in terms of, because I feel like a lot of this pressure is definitely, while it's well meaning in terms of like how much idols and anyone really, I guess celebrities, sort of value how much their fans love them, or the sort of support that they get. But I feel like it puts a lot of pressure on them to be perfect, and that's impossible. Like no one in this world is perfect. So I feel I feel like we as fans or just consumers of the product need to be more understanding and accommodating of everyone's shortcomings. Again, idols, they might get plastic surgery, but they're not perfect. So we have to at least sort of try to be more empathetic to like whatever like issues they might have. But I just hope this sort of launches, I guess, a better conversation of maybe like workload, because to some degree I don't know how sustainable the current like workload that a lot of idols seem to get. Because I mean, it's been talked about like every group, like not just Twice, just like IZ*ONE has an insane schedule. Wanna1 had an insane schedule where they were like flying from different countries.
BTS has been nonstop touring for 3 years now.
That was a thing.
Putting albums out whenever they're not.
Yeah, that was a thing at Mama. For those that don't remember.
Yeah, didn't they?
They said that they were so
almost quit.
Yeah, they almost broke up because they were so like burnt out by the sort of workload that they're expected to do. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely a conversation I feel like we need to have in terms of what our expectations are of just volume and output, and just how much we're putting them out there in the public spotlight to sort of just be like criticized or ridiculed in that sort of way. But I mean, even I feel burnout all the time. Like, fuck, I get burned out doing this YouTube show, and we only have like 600 some odd subscribers. It's burnout. It's not necessarily. I feel like the sort of I guess narrative in terms of like being passionate about something or just having a drive is that people like, or the misconception is that it has to be like that 100% of the time. Because it's not always going to be. Like, there's something that you could be really invested in and love. And I'm sure Mina and, like, Taeyeon and everyone else love what they do. It's just being at 100% all the time is exhausting. And, like, everyone needs a break. Like, even Chang'a at one point, like, I think she said she hasn't taken a vacation in years and whatever. So, everyone just... Even if you could be the most dedicated or the most hardworking person, but everyone has their limit. So... Yeah, I can definitely relate to that in terms of just wanting to sort of, or needing a better work-life balance, or needing to like sort of separate yourself from whatever it is that you do for a living. And hopefully that'll help Mina. Hopefully that'll help her just sort of reset her mindset in terms of, just why she does this, or what enjoyment she gets out of it, and sort of hopefully strive to sort of regain that and not focus on negative things, hopefully. So... And yeah, it's a lot of work. Like I said, whether you're a K-pop idol, whether you're a shoe designer, programmer, math wizard, I don't know. What is your? I don't know what your job title is exactly.
She's a teacher.
A teacher.
Kind of.
You do all the fancy number stuff that I stopped learning in high school. So I guess that's my little moral lesson here. Just understand your limits and don't be ashamed of realizing when you've hit your limit, because. Literally everyone has to deal with this, and don't feel like you're any less of a person for having to sort of like take a step back and, address yourself or address how you're doing things. It's something that I think more people need to do, in all honesty, instead of just risking something even further down the line in terms of like depression or potential suicide. So,
do you have any extra things to add, Sam?
I were just kind of going.
Andrew, we let Andrew go for a good 15 minutes there.
So another thing, I mean, I guess we can kind of just talk about other idols, and anxiety, like stuff that's kind of come up. Like one thing right now with this one's like close to me just because it's one of my old groups, is with Pentagon, and Yanan's been gone.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
And this is one of the ones where like they're not completely upfront about it. So this is speculation on my part. There is no formal statement saying he has anxiety, but this is now his third time. Not participating.
It's just constant at this point.
He's not doing the tour, and he is a Chinese member. He's the only Chinese member. I imagine it's really hard on him, and he's a really shy person. He is not like it doesn't surprise me at all if he has anxiety. And it's just so sad to me of like, this is now his third time having to not participate in these group activities. And like, we're not really getting statements about it. He's just not there. They're
Classic
kind of just
Cube.
they're not acknowledging it really. I mean, he's still in the album that they had. He's just not promoting. He's not going to tour, but his voice is there. And it was so creepy in the music video. They had other members like lip sync his parts.
Lip syncing his parts? Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, that's Yanan's voice, but that's Yoan singing.
Yeah,
like,
you can't get away with that. Like, K-pop
it
fans eventually figure out, get to know voices. Like,
and it seems like that's kind of in bad faith too. It's like it's not his fault necessarily that he's absent from it, and you're just it's a literal visual representation of just replacing him like that. So I don't agree. And
then I know another one. This one also wasn't advertised as anxiety. It's another one of my speculations. But with Solji from EXID, she had a thyroid thing. And I had a thyroid thing too.
Oh yeah,
and
my mom did.
What made that hard for me was the increased anxiety that came with it. because that is like one of the biggest side effects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is like the number one symptom with thyroid is your anxiety is just like through the roof.
Oh, really? Okay.
All like everything's like out of balance with like hormones and shit. Like you have to control it.
Yeah, and I did the same thing too. When I was going through my stuff back in college, I always just said like, oh, I have a thyroid thing. Even though like really what was like what made me not do things was, oh yeah, my anxiety, it's too much for me to do this activity. And so I understand like, yeah, she had the thyroid thing, so that's what they said it as, but at the same time it's like once again kind of hiding the anxiety part of it, because I can't imagine doing any activity, anything idols do with extreme anxiety, especially the anxiety you get from a thyroid, hyperthyroidism, or whatever she had, if it was hyper or hypo.
I think it was hyper,
Yeah, I think it was hyper. And like, just because, yeah, you have the whole, just, you know, your life is out there. On top of that, like meet and greets, that would be like the worst thing ever. Because just like constantly like having
you have to be 100% on.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to you don't want to disappoint anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're not on for that one person, they walk away and they're just like super disappointed.
Yeah,
like, they're super happy to like meet you, and then if you're just not into it,
I mean, like with my job, like I said, like I teach kids, I teach math with kids, and when I'm in my like funk and I have my anxiety, I don't want to interact with any of them.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad when I get, you know, snippy, or I'm like, I'm not at my 100%. I feel bad because it comes across like it's their fault. It has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
And all it does is make it worse on yourself. Of like, you have
get anxiety over that.
Yeah, you have anxiety over the anxiety of it. And and you don't want people to know that something's wrong. Like you want to, it's a whole like mind game. And I could not imagine having to do that as an idol. Like I'm a person, like I need vacations, I need weekends. I work 6 days a week sometimes, and it is awful.
Yeah,
because I don't have a cool down.
I never have it worse. Yeah, I never realized how much I value the weekend until I started working 5 days a week. Like, and like I don't like, again, like my job, like I've been trying to force myself to keep it 8 hours, but they want you to do like 10, 11 sometimes. So
it's like, even with these idols, their vacations sometimes aren't vacations because they're filmed.
They're filmed. Like there's people following them around everywhere. That's why like I don't want. I'd feel bad if I like bother, and I'm probably gonna go back on this or like go against my word here, but I kind of feel bad when I like people like follow idols everywhere, like even though like vacation is shit, you don't get a break at all. Like you just existing is your job essentially. So
that's why they love coming like here, because they aren't followed.
They can just walk around.
They can actually walk around New York City or Chicago and like go places and not have to worry about it.
And I mean, in terms of it, like this taking a toll, I mean, the perfect example is Choa from AOA. Like, I have not seen anything. Like, I have not seen a report.
Oh yeah, I
have not seen like any like images or like whatever photos. Like, she's just fallen off the face of the earth because she said she had to deal with all of this sort of anxiety and depression sort of thing. So that's the warning, or like that's like the sort of like end result of all of this. If it goes unchecked, like you just fall off the face of the earth. I mean, granted, she probably made her money at some point, but like just having to deal with the repercussions of that, or just getting pushed to the point where you just want to fall off the face of the earth isn't healthy whatsoever. I mean, like it'd be nice to sort of disappear, but I guess the pressure that a lot of these idols are under is just something that human beings aren't built to deal with.
Yeah, it's like, not natural.
Yeah, we're not meant to interact with like thousands of people like in the same way. Like, and like interacting with one stranger is freaking stressful enough in a day. Like, I don't like. This is why I always put headphones on and everything. Like, I don't want to deal with anyone. And I work in the busiest city in the world essentially. But like, just the thought of having to interact with so many people and having, again, those expectations of how it's gonna go would just destroy me as a human being. And I mean, I'm sorry if this will ruin anyone that wants to, like, if we ever have fans that want to meet us later in like if we ever get famous. But like, that's just too much stress for me to handle.
Yeah. So yeah, the last two things I wanted to talk about, like, well, we've gotten into one a little bit here. It's just like I think fans need to be better.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, like you just said, like they need to and we talked about this too. Like we've talked about this several topics. You need to realize that these are humans,
human
like,
beings.
Anytime like they're dating and like people freak out or like any of that stuff, we talk about this. But yeah, these are humans. Like they're not perfect. They're you just kind of have to be accepting of that. They're not for you. Like they're marketed for you. Like that's kind of the whole like
idea.
Industry, but like they're not, and you need to realize that. Like following them around everywhere, like sasaengs are just another level of insane and just ridiculous, and that needs to be criminalized basically.
Yeah.
But like even just like going around and like trying to see them everywhere is
trying to find
and like interact on, trying to find like flights.
That was hotels, a big thing with Produce 48, where they were
like
people like they were paying, like they were literally like paying people off to find out like what the flights were when you're going to that like length just to like see like a tiny glimpse. Like there's gonna be like hundreds of people like coming out of that freaking airport or whatever, so like for like 10 seconds of interaction you're going to go to that length. I mean,
like it's not worth it. Like
it's not worth it. I don't walking them, seeing them walk past you and go into a car is like, I don't understand.
I mean, again, I've spoken at length about like how disassociated I am with like that side of K-pop in terms of like
I love
I love music, but I mean, like, there's no one in the world, like, no one yet. Maybe I don't know if I ever get a wife down the line. Like, there's no one in the world that I'd go to that much work to get like attention from or feel like approval from. Like, that's like, just too much work.
Yeah, like I love like seeing my idols live and like seeing them in person is awesome, but like just for 10 like driving to an airport, standing around for hours waiting for their flight to come in, just see them walk past you is like 11 to
like I'll see them when they're on their schedule, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Or like it would be cool to like see that like when they do like the flash mobs in New York or whatever, like seeing from us there would have been cool.
It's like,
but, like I'm not gonna like follow them around afterwards.
On like doing their job, right? That's
exactly.
When they're on.
Well, and that's what they said, like
yeah,
when they're off, and that's why I think like Aubrey and Paige were saying like it was cool because after the G Idol flash mob after KCON, they just walked away and like none of the crowd followed them or anything. Like they were able to just walk away in the middle of New York and like not be bothered, and that's why I think like even not even like talking about sasaeng, so that's another level. Like even just like normal fans, and like we were saying, like you need to be a little like understanding that like if they're not 100% at a fan meet or something, like don't like insult them or like don't like hate on them because of that. Like they're human, they're gonna have off days. Like because I remember seeing, I don't remember what group it was, but like a couple months ago I remember seeing news about like, or I don't know, I don't even know if it was a couple months ago, could have been years ago. I've been in K-pop so long and all blends together. But no, I remember seeing like news stories about like idols that I care about and like how one of them just like didn't look like they were into a fan meeting. It's like that's not a bad thing. Like they have bad days. It happens. Like don't hate on them for that.
And I mean, just then, like if you take it as a perspective from a human, if you were like, would you expect yourself to sort of be like at 100% with every person that you interact with on a daily basis?
Yeah.
Like I can't,
especially when you're doing that every day for weeks, like
every day,
and stuff. Like,
I can't even be 100% like for like one person. So like, I think it just, I guess to like sum it up, I guess it's just.
Well, I had one more thing.
Okay.
I have one more thing before we sum up. But and then like the last thing I want to talk about, and I like because I forgot about this when I was talking about how JYP handled the whole Mina situation, is the other thing I really want to applaud them for, and I really hate is making the idols apologize. And I'm very glad that they did. It wasn't an apology from Mina that she had anxiety and she wasn't going to be there. It was a statement from the company saying this is what's happening, and it's like this, you got to deal with it. It's not she's not doing something wrong. Like because that happens so much where like anytime something goes wrong, like with Joy, with her anxiety with the fireworks, like there was like two concerts in a row where she got scared of fireworks and she had to apologize because she was scared during a concert. Like,
or
and then leave.
NGT48 freaking Yamaguchi
Oh
Maho
yeah,
gets
the
assaulted,
one girl.
and she has to apologize
yes.
for getting assaulted.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous, and that's another thing I really want to do. Point out that JYP is doing correctly.
Yeah. So, any last thoughts, Sam? Or
yeah, I had one last thing that just to kind of, I guess, so one thing was just like saying how, you know, I want companies to advertise, you know, they have anxiety. I also do want to say they don't owe us an explanation, right?
Oh yeah, 100 exactly.
I just feel like I want to put that out there. Like you know, if an artist,
it's nice to know.
It's
but
nice,
it's
and
not,
I like
it's
to have
not,
the message out there that this is this happens, this is fine. It's if an artist doesn't want us to know that they have anxiety, they don't need to tell us, right? That is their personal issue. I'm not gonna stand here being like they need to tell us this. And you know, that might be the case with most of these where they don't want people to know, and that is fine. I will applaud it though when they bring it up and it gets talked about. You know, Taeyeon's been very great of just talking, like on her Instagram live, she's just like, I have depression, so what? And I'm like, thank you. Like I applaud that.
People
not everyone
people
needs
like
to do that.
People like comments like called her out for it, and she's like, "Fuck!" She basically just like, "Fuck off." Like, like not obviously not that harshly, but
I mean, it's again. I guess what I wanted to sum it up with is hopefully this being out there with more than one person at this point, like this, it's not at this point. It's not Jonghyun that was the only one dealing with this. It's everyone. Like I hope that like being at least a bit more, taking these steps to being a bit more open about it. It will hopefully again just sort of open up the conversation in terms of how we treat these situations, and I guess how to be more understanding. And also, I guess just to sum up like all of this is that putting people on a pedestal isn't necessarily a bad thing, but understand that everyone, even idols, are human. That they're going to make mistakes. They're going to have their bad days. They're going to deal with depression, anxiety, that sort of thing. And I think it's our job as fans to sort of again be accommodating of that, be understanding of that in whatever capacity that requires. So.
Yeah, their job is to be on that pedestal, but if they're not feeling like being on that pedestal that day, don't hate on them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So I say that wraps
it
up.
Okay, it's I forgot I was hosting the show for a second. I'm so used to Jacob doing it. That's it for topic 4, and that is it for episode 131. Let us know what your thoughts on all of this in the comments, and like I said at the beginning, follow us on YouTube, or subscribe to us on YouTube, click the bell, like the videos, follow us on Twitter. The other thing I always on and off forget if you listen on audio version, like reviews on iTunes, that really helps us get exposure, the audio version, and we're on Spotify as well. And then of course join the Discord where you can hang out with all of us, including Sam, who mods for us and runs our song ratings, where we argue at each other about what songs are what rating, and then we figure out our overall Discord's favorite songs of different like groups and eras of music, I guess. Andrew wants to show off his poster before we finish it.
No, I was gonna tie into the ending, so
oh, you're at that. Okay. That's it. Thank you and good night.
Stay fancy.
Stay throbbingly fancy.
Like, I read a bunch of interviews that they did, and their intentions for this track and this whole album is just so freaking pure. They wanted to make their audience feel good, and they wanted the tracks to be dance tracks for their live performances, which I think they absolutely nailed in this album. So I watched a live performance